everybody. Here we go. Another night of fun. Yeah, today is Friday, and I am ready to enjoy the weekend. Let's see if we can get some audience here today so that we can touch up on some of the comments that some of you have left on my shorts and my videos. I want to say thank you guys for tuning in. As you guys tune in, just go ahead and give me a little wave or a like. I appreciate it. So I'm going to do a little different, something a little different today. Let's see if we get enough people in here. I think that it's important um, to know what's going on in our states and in our countries. We'll see. We'll see. Hello, hello, welcome. If you're joining in, we're just gonna wait for just a few more people, and we're gonna go ahead and start in our live. I wanna get a lot of interaction from you guys. We're gonna talk about tariffs, everybody's favorite. Hey, Smelly, how you doing, brother? Yeah, we're doing great, man. Well, I don't know. I haven't talked to Joe for a while, so but uh, but I'm doing good. Thank you for asking. I'm gonna read some comments over here that people have left in some of my videos. And Smelly, you better not be the one that has been talking crap over here. Just joking, brother. Thanks for joining the live. Yeah, I'm going to read some comments, but in a little bit. Today we're going to talk a little bit about Congress because it is important to know what Congress is doing and how you and I are reacting to things. So I want to say, first of all, thank you so much for your love and support. Thank you for your comments, Ezekiel. Welcome. Thank you for the hi, Slushy. Thank you, Slushy. This is just to cover just some of the hairline things. A lot of people tell me, "Hey, take the hat off. Well, why are you wearing that?" And they make fun of my balding. Man, as you're getting older, man, it's just a fact of life. I really don't. Insults don't really bother me anymore in my time. Half a century old, guys. Half a century old, and I just don't care. I love people. The difference between getting, how to say this. When I say I love people, I think I mentioned it yesterday, right? My 100% love goes to everybody, and it depends on how they treat me is how much I'm gonna keep loving them. Does that make sense? In a friendship, is the same way. On everything, is the same way for me. Thank you, Vanessa. I appreciate you. Uh, Joe, I've been, I try to keep up a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Thank you for the compliment on the hat. I would tell you this. I went to Costco. Thank you, Ren. I appreciate you, brother. I'm hoping to get to 500 today, so we'll see if that ever happens. I think we're like 80 something short or something like that. But I went to Costco one day and I forgot I was wearing my hat. Now, the only reason why I don't wear the hat like too much in public is because I don't want people to be getting upset. And, I do try to be mindful. Hispanic, Leo, Hondureño. Carlos, someone in the chat is an owl. I will tell you my story about Costco in a little bit. Let me read some of these comments. Trash that hat. No, man, are you crazy? Bro, it's got the American flag on it, man. It's got Trump's name on the side. We got to make America great. If we don't make America great, who will? You got to take care of your country, brother. Yeah, pedos wear red hats. Well, this is a black one, I guess. So I don't think the red hat wearers are pedophiles, but to each his own. How do you like the Power Rangers skins for in Fortnite? I hate Fortnite. I cannot stand Fortnite. Nah, 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 nah. Call of Duty for me, buddy. Make Red Indian back again. I will tell you this about Indians, even though that this is not what the comment is about. The Indians should be proud of being called Indians. It means in God, in God's people. I love that. You can call me Indian anytime. I love my Indian heritage. We are more Lencas. Most people don't know what that is, but that's one of our native Indians in Honduras. Thank you, Dan. I appreciate it. Appreciate the likes. Thank you, Steven. Love the hat. Let's see. Make Germany great again. Germany has been great, man. They've been getting hundreds of thousands and millions of dollars from us. So we're going to touch about tariffs today. A lot of people have been a little bit ignorant about tariffs. We'll see what you guys think today. Red Hat, Confederate maggots. Uh, let's not forget that the Democratic Party is actually the Confederates here. Hey, I love Democrats. Not the corrupted pieces of, you know what I'm saying, in the office, but I love Democrats. They're also patriots, and that's why I'm going to touch on Congress because I think that a lot of different opinions between Democrats, Republicans, etc. If you're nonpartisan, if you're independent, it doesn't matter what party you are a loyalist to. I respect everybody's opinion, and I will make fun of you as much as you make fun of me. And believe me, if it wasn't because I have to censor myself a little bit on YouTube, you cannot handle me if we start throwing insults. I'm a really bad person when it comes to that. And because I think everybody needs to learn a lesson in life. You need to be nice. Be nice. I try to be nice. Listen, at my work, I'm just the lead at work. But I try to make sure that my team, even though I'm not a supervisor, who knows, maybe in the future, near future, I might be. But I try to make sure that everybody in there, it's treated equally, it's treated the same with the same dignity. I bring some donuts sometimes. Sometimes I bring coffee. Like I said, I'm not the supervisor, I'm not the manager. This is my own money, and it's just a few bucks. It's not that I want to buy their friendship. I don't need nobody's friendship. I give respect. I expect respect. My coworkers, they react to that inclusivity, not like the crazy ass inclusivity that Democrats try to play with those far left liberals, but inclusivity in a way that it should be. We are all equal. We're all working together. We want to have fun, and we also want to have a place that we can actually become, how do you say it, supporters of the economy in this country. It's part of being a patriot. Let's see. Don't be a Donald. I'm going to say this. I'm not a Donald. I think he is more like me. Give them back their land. I love this comments where people say give back the land to the natives. How did the natives get the land? Call of Duties for kids. You crazy, man. This is the problem with society. Hey, man, what that? Huh? What's that about my upper lip? Hey, man, I don't like the whole mustache. But I do like a little bit of mustache around the upper lip. I'm sorry it bothers you, brother. Give Texas and California back to Mexico. Long live Pancho Villa. Nick, let me give you a little bit of history about Pancho Villa. Pancho Villa was a mixed Afro-Indian citizen in Mexico. He was a farmer. He fought against the government of Mexico, and this is why the people loved him. This is why Texas left Mexico. This is why California left Mexico. There's a lot of places that the United States has today, and the reason why the United States has it today is because Mexico effed up. Period. It was very violent. They were very oppressive. Till this day, the government of Mexico is still oppressive. They keep lying to the people. They don't like to protect their own citizens. They let cartels loose all over the place. They don't give a crap if the Mexican people are suffering. They have allowed 21 million illegals to come through the southern border of the United States through Mexico because they don't care about the people. But they made hundreds of billions of dollars doing this. And the President Claudia Sheinbaum, it is such a shame of a president that they have in Mexico. Even Nayib Bukele from El Salvador was talking trash about how she doesn't protect her people. They called Nayib Bukele, the president of El Salvador, a tyrant, an authoritarian. But let me tell you what this authoritarian tyrant has done for the Salvadorian people. They have their dignity back. They have their peace back. They can now work on the streets in their businesses free of gangbangers, of rapers, of murderers, extortionists. They have the freedom that they haven't had for decades and decades, if anything ever in history. I know because I'm from Honduras and we are neighbors and we know our history. We had a run-ins with Salvadorian government officials. We took them out. And I don't mean like we killed everybody, but we won. Salvadorians might contradict me on this, but the fact is that we won the soccer war against Salvadorians. We did lose a lot of innocent civilians, which is something that casualties of war. Unfortunately, they happen. But Salvadorians are today one of the safest countries in the world because this authoritarian put the civilians first, not the civilians, the citizens of its country first. He does not care about violent criminals that all they can do is think about hurting people, breaking the law, and they hate him because they say he's an authoritarian. But 91% of the population of El Salvador, even some in Honduras, myself included, I am a fan of this guy, loves Nayib Bukele. They love him so much that they were able to change their constitution to allow him to be running for president every 5 years. I believe it's every 5 years. And with 91% approval from the citizens, I say to the world, shut the hell up. Crime is down. People are free. They're making money. Now you can actually go and farm some bananas, some potatoes. You can take it to the market. And even though it's just a few dollars, by doggone it, God has watched over these people. And now they're making some money to support their families. You can be greedy and be like, oh my God, the United States is so horrible. If this is so horrible, why are you here? But let's give credit where credit's due. Nayib Bukele is the best freaking president in the world. I'm sorry, Donald Trump. I love you. I think that you're a great grandfather. I think you're a great father. And I think that you're a great friend and brother. You are a person, a patriot that loves this country. But unfortunately, you don't have the guts to do what Nayib Bukele has done in El Salvador. Now, we're going to say why. Number one, Americans, we like to think that we are fair people. Donald Trump tries to be a fair president. Hey, Bugat, man, don't tell me that you're Salvadorian and that you hate Nayib Bukele. You know everything I said about Nayib Bukele is true. Let me read a couple of comments here before we get into Donald Trump's ugly orange man bad. Give me a sec. Nick, I don't think that's a good idea. All right, so you're going to be talking about yourselves in here. It's all right. What the fudge? I hate it when the camera does that shit. Man, I would look really, really spiritual. I think I'm radiant with the... shit. All right, let me just read some more comments here. Look at that. Even the camera is trying to make the... it's trying to make my hat look better. There we go. You like that? That little magic? You put your hand out there and it fixes everything? Let's see. Trump was... What? Trump was during... What? I don't know what that means. Let's see. Trump was during great until... Oh, was doing great, I think. Until the dumbass was cool with trying to sell 150 million acres of public land. Man, you know what? Speaking about land, you guys know that China owns a lot of farmlands next to a lot of military bases. That's some freaky stuff, boys and girls. By the way, there's only two genders, boys and girls. There's only men and women. I support gays and lesbians. I don't support their sin, but what I support, I mean, is I see them as equal to everybody else. I respect them on the same level. I love them on the same level. And the reason why I support them is because they are not completely crazy. We all are a little bit crazy, but they're not completely crazy because the men that like men, they still know that they are men. And the women that like women, they still know they are women, and I can respect at least that. So much love to our brothers and sisters that, well, they don't think as heterosexuals, but still, much love to them. All right, now I'm gonna go ahead and try to get to the bottom of these messages and scream for Trump. Well, I can't scream because the microphone is gonna be blowing up and nobody's gonna be able to hear anything. Let's see, Adam. Well, bro, let me see. Thanks, man. I really needed to tell me there's only two genders. Woo! As a grown 33-year-old man, do you know how ridiculous that sounds? Even having to. I know, man. I know. You know what? I thought about playing Ice Baby every time somebody said ice. And now, you know what? As a matter of fact, we're gonna start with that. Besides Congress, we're gonna start talking about ice. I do have some comments that people put on my videos, and some of them are nice, some of them are not. But either way, when we talk about Congress, we're gonna find out why you and I are fighting for things that we shouldn't even be fighting about. And the only factor or division will be illegal immigrants and people that hate this country. Okay, but other than that, we're gonna figure out why patriots are fighting each other. All right. With that being said, I think I was rudely interrupted before with your comments. Ah, man, Epstein, remind me again later after we cover the three things that I said. So we're going to do ICE, tariffs, and we're going to talk about Congress. I'm speaking from a patriot, a person concerned, a citizen concerned for the well-being of the American people and the greatness of this country. Everybody that hates this country, you're not on my list. But everybody that is a patriot, a resident, or a citizen, and specifically citizens, because we are the ones that can vote things in and vote things out. Happy Friday, Daniel. Happy Friday, brother. Leo, you're not American. Well, technically, I am American, Central American, but a nationality, I am a Honduran American. I'm naturalized American here in the United States. I am grateful for the privilege to be part of the great people of the United States of America, which has the greatest country in the world. We has the most powerful military force on earth. And that got to tell you something right there about our beautiful President Donald Trump. He has not nuked anybody. He has made precision attacks on certain people that want to have America death, that want to have Israel death. We don't want those deaths. So we want the world to be prosperous. We want the economy to go around. We want to make sure everybody that has life can enjoy life. So President Donald Trump is not pushing that red button. I'm going to tell you right now, if it was you or if it was me, we would have hit that red button so many times, thinking that we were right, that we were doing the right thing. But President Donald Trump is a patient man. He's a businessman. But he's been a businessman for you and me to be prosperous. So I want you to think about that. The most powerful military force on earth, and yet he fights for peace. Think about that. And I want to say, for those that hate Trump, make America great. How do I flip the camera so that this is facing the right way so that you guys can read it right? Is that like a mirror thing? I'm using an Android phone, so I don't know how to do that on this phone. I have to look it up. Let's see. I am going to, let me see. It's Jesus Christ loves you all. Amen. What am I? Jesus Christ does love all of us. Not our sin, though. Let's see. One more. The guy, I don't know. I don't know if that's meant to me. Stop supporting child. Well, I don't support Biden, bruh. So I'm not supporting child predators. We have seen the hat for the last 10 years. And you hopefully will see it for the next 100. God bless you. God bless you. So, anyway, Donald Trump does not destroy our enemies. Donald Trump makes our enemies fall in line. Now, I really don't like to give out too much information. When we're talking about our enemies, there's got to be still a line of namaste, what? Franavat. I can't read that. It's too small for me. Pranavanad. I think that's how you say that. U.S. all day, baby. Kansas, thank you. Greg, enjoy it. Trump is Jeffrey's ex-friend. All right, he parted ways a long time ago, guys. I want to see a good question here so that I can talk to you. Namaste, namaste. I respect people's religions. I have my own belief, but I respect your belief. Your belief is fine. Dwayne is black. You got that. Yeah. Okay, here's a Mexican right here. Irvin Oliveira is Mexican. How do I know? Because he talks like my Mexican brothers. You got a nopal in the front of your face. Nopal is what you call a Mexican. But I am Honduran, so I guess it means something like to the effects of I'm an Indian, or in Spanish it's indio. And some Mexicans get offended by that word, but to me, that's a compliment. God bless you for calling me an Indian. My Indian race, let me tell you about my Indian race. Our Lenca Indians. Now, you guys have heard about Mayans. We have Mayans in our country. But our Lenca, our leader in Honduras, back when the Spanish conquistadors were in Central America, in Honduras, which, by the way, Hondurans means depths of water. And that is what Christopher Columbus called the one of the parts of Honduras, which later was changed into the whole country being called that. He fought the Spanish conquistadors with bows, arrows, and spears. The Spanish conquistadors came in there with muskets and cannons and all this, advanced equipment, but they could not kill him. Within years, they had attracted some of our natives, some of our Indians, with the Spaniard, with little trinkets and things that we haven't seen before. And then they learned to speak Spanish, and they were translated to our Indian hero. And then he was betrayed, and they got him to come out of a protected land, and they killed him. And this is how we started to be mixed with Spaniards. But the point is not that he lost. The point is that they couldn't kill him. It doesn't matter if he was outnumbered. It doesn't matter if he didn't have the equipment or the weapons to fight them head on an equal battle. The fact is, the fighting spirit is what we carry as descendants of those. BB, Catracho, baby, that's right. Catracho Americano, because now, I'm an American as well. I love all my Hondurans people, but I will say, man, if you guys get on this chat, and if you're a criminal or you know somebody that's a criminal, don't support them. All right? We have to represent. If we say that we're proud to be Hondurans and we are in this land, show this land the respect that Hondurans are taught and educated on, so that when they see us, they don't look at us like criminals. So there is that. Hey, good for you. You love Israel. I love Israel. Trinity, let's see. And Dennis is an American. Trinity, thank you, man. I appreciate it. He's a naturalized citizen, therefore he's an American. Woo! Man, see, this is why I love my American brothers. My American brothers and sisters, the best in the world. I love you guys. Man, you guys want me to start with the talks that we have today? We have tariffs, we have attacks on ICE, and we're going to talk about Congress. I think the talk about Congress is the biggest thing that we need to tackle today, to be honest. And the reason for that is, oh yeah, let me show you guys a mug that many of you are going to appreciate. If you're a dad, I got it first. I'm the greatest dad ever. After Trump, probably. All right. Let's see. Man, I'll tell you what, I will give not anything, but I will give a lot if I can spend one day with Donald Trump golfing. Now, he will kick my ass because I'm not good at golfing anymore. My back is torn. And him at 80 years old is a lot stronger, smarter, and wiser than me at 50. So there's that. All right, respects to the man. Respect to the man that has all the power in the world to destroy many, many countries, and yet he restrains himself and makes peace amongst many countries, even those that we shouldn't even help, to be honest. He is a great man. So God bless Donald Trump. God bless all of you who voted for him. Man, I love you so much for doing that. And it tells me that in America, we still have hope that we are still going to be a great nation. We are great, but when we say make America great, it's because we have a lot of people that hate this country so much, and that somebody has to love it. And it might as well be the people that live in it. And especially citizens, you guys are supposed to represent. Let me see what insult this is, or a compliment. You are so ignorant, and I cannot believe why you want to go golfing with him. This is wrong with the world because he's rich, famous, and president, and he's great guy. No, he's not. No, no, no. If you haven't seen Donald Trump, I watched the course. Okay, you see, you guys get so caught up on hating a person because of what you have heard from political corrupted politicians that have been lying to you and stealing your money. I don't understand. But here, let me tell you the story and the reason why I would love to golf with him. I saw a documentary. It was kind of like a documentary. I would just call it a show. He was golfing with a professional golfer. He partnered up, okay? This is what the show was about. And you should listen to how he talks. He's a regular man, very knowledgeable man. He doesn't talk like a politician on his personal life. He's different. And that's the side that I want to see, because even though I enjoy the politician side, because he doesn't let nobody troll him. He doesn't let nobody get on his case, right? I like the fighter, and because he's a patriot, he's representing all of us. You're weird. Thanks, man. I am pretty weird. But the way he was talking to him, he was respecting the golfer, and the golfer was respecting him. The conversations that he has, it was the same thing that I think when I go golfing. Why do I like to go golfing? And when I get my back fixed up, I'm trying to lose some weight. I'm a little heavy. So you guys have an idea. I'm a 6'1", 285 pounds. I want to get down to 210. I don't know if I'm ever going to reach that goal. The food that we have in this country, it's so horrible. I'm sick of fast food. I have no choice. When you work here, you got to grab something on the run. Even the bread that you buy, man, I tried all kinds of stuff, like fiber, and I tried different kinds of breads. It doesn't matter. It's at my age, it seems like everything just freaking slows down. But anyway, let me see. Do you think Trump will pardon Ghislaine Maxwell? So let me finish with Donald Trump. I thought that it was a great interaction. I love that he's very competitive. But this is what he appreciates about the golf. He loves the golf course, the beautiful greenery, those trees around, sometimes the sand, sometimes ocean, sometimes, water banks and things like that. And people think I'm corny, and or whatever, or just weird, straight out weird, because that's so beautiful to me. Nature, not the mosquitoes, not the snakes, not the things that can kill us and hurt us. I am not that kind of nature lover. I'm a nature lover of the big, beautiful mountains, big, beautiful pine trees, and the lakes, and the people when they're hiking. They're just gorgeous, beautiful people, enjoying nature, non-violent. I mean, it's just, it's the United States really is amazing. And of course, we have that in Honduras. but it's freaking hot over there. And it is God's will. If it's God's will that I go back to Honduras, I will. Believe me, I Honduras to me is so beautiful. I love the people. Um, you see, I hang out with a lot of people that are educated in Honduras. I don't hang out with gangbangers in Honduras. I don't hang out with people that are hateful. I surround myself with people that are positive, that want to make a difference in their country. So maybe that's why I think that Honduras is great, because all the people that I associate myself with when I'm down there, they are raised to be the same way that I remember being raised as a kid. Our schools educated us. We used to get spankings if we didn't behave in school, and a lot of times that made us better, because at home, they maybe some didn't get spanked, some got physically abused as I did. Right? They didn't get disciplined. They were just hated and neglected. But I learned in Honduras during school that if I behaved, I didn't get spanked at all. And I got spanked a couple times in first and second grade. But after that, I was what you call a teacher's pet. That's what they call somebody that is loyal to the authority that they put in front of us. And I was the helper. So that's my story. That's why I love Donald Trump. He has the same mentality when it comes to this country. He loves nature and he loves the people. I don't understand why people don't see that. Where do you guys want to start? I'm going to take 3 votes. You guys want to start with tariffs, tax on ICE, or let's talk about Congress? I'll take 3 votes. Thank you, Casio. Make America great again and again. They called Nayib Bukele Epstein. That's not on the list. All right, ICE won, Congress won. Epstein, man, you guys are horrible. Yes, Obama arrest. I know, man, guys. Wow, really? See, now I know everybody in here is just a bot. Oh man. All right. Okay. You guys are horrible. I said tariffs, ICE, or Congress. Ah, man. God bless these bots. I know you're not bots, but that's what they call people that keep texting the same shit over and over. All right. Well, okay, we can talk about Honduras, but I think the topics I want to keep on here is about America, because we need to make America great again. And you guys need to understand. I know there's a lot of white sympathetics out there that think that us Hispanics and blacks are just such a little people and so fragile that you think that your white guilt is doing anything good for this country. But let me tell you that it's not. You are the cancer in society. You are the people that don't discipline or love your children. Somebody that lets their children spoil without discipline does not really love their kids. Man, I'm going to get a lot of enemies for that comment. I will say this. One thing that I learned in life is this, and my mom used to tell me all the time. If the shoe fits, wear it. All right? That's all I have to say about that. All right. So, I'm not white, but I don't know, man. I can make I can look 20 years younger and a little bit of Asian. Man, you know what? I never noticed how wrinkled my face have gotten. That's crazy. Tegucigalpa is where my father's from. Well, my father's mom, I guess, because she moved down there. So, not close to Asian. All right. Epstein files. Okay, so what do you want to know about Epstein files? I touched up on this on one of my lives already, but I'll give you that. I'll give you I'll give you that. You want to be white? You want to be white? I don't think my privates will ever be white. Let's just say that. Oh man, I make some horrible jokes, guys. I apologize about that. That ain't right. Let's see. Alligator. Nah, they don't send citizens and people that love this country to Alcatraz. They don't even sell. They don't even send people that hate America or the United States to Alcatraz. The only people that are there are criminal, illegal immigrants. Let's just say that. All right, Epstein files. Let's go. I think that's not part of the topic, but that's a one. Epstein files. Uh, let's see. Where do you want to start with the list? What's important to you? Let's see. Okay, great. Thank you for asking that again. That's what I needed to know. Okay, so this is where I stand with the Epstein files. We know that the Clintons and many other people already has been subpoenaed. Okay, so right now where we stand is we have to be patient and we're gonna wait. We're gonna let this trial play along. In about I think towards the end of August, they're gonna start the trials. I believe 25th I think is what I saw. But here's the thing. A lot of people say that Donald Trump is on the list. Uh, I'm going to say this. I'm a little disappointed with Pam Bondi, but at the same time, I don't blame her because they have a lot of shit on their plate. A lot. This administration has to clean up so much crap that the Democrats have done. Uh, oh, okay. All right, Bibi, I appreciate it. I will let you go ahead and handle these comments. I'll let you take it. All right. The other thing that we need to take a look at is that even if there was a list, I think that what Pam Bondi was trying to say was when they asked her about the list, she meant that she had Epstein files on her desk. Now, mind you, if you're investigating something, you might say something out in the open to the public, and this is why most of the time they don't want to give all the information out. But they are desperate to please the people, and so they want to give them something. Now, I believe she meant to say that she has the Epstein files on her desk, but everybody literally took it as in the Epstein list, and that's not the same thing. Now, if there was a list, or if there is a list, anybody that is on that list of guests doesn't mean that they were practicing those bad things that they were doing, like for sex trafficking with minors and all this stuff. We know by Epstein's own words that he liked being with, certain kind of people. Don't want to get canceled over here on YouTube, but that's what Epstein believed. And we are waiting patiently for what's going to happen in court. I believe that this is more than what the previous administrations have done. And I don't think anybody is going to jail, to be honest, except for Bill Clinton and maybe his wife. So be patient about that, please. Don't worry about the list. And trust me, when we get to the subject of Congress, man, you're going to see why you and I disagree on that topic. Okay? So, if there was something to cover up, I think the Democrats would have released it a long time ago. But they didn't. So that tells me there is nothing to cover up. And if there is something to cover up, you should tell that to the corrupted politicians, Democrat politicians, because they had the same access that President Donald Trump has and the administration. That's the Epstein files. So let's wait to see what happens with the trials, and we'll talk more about it as it happens, okay? Let's see. What about APAC? American Israel Public something. Is that the one you're talking about? The Affairs Committee? Yeah. The Donald Trump ran on that list, and but he doesn't care. He doesn't care. He has nothing to hide. That's why he's bringing it all out. Well, I'm to be honest, Zero. It's I'm not very good with abbreviations, even in chats, bro. I don't know. Some people be trying to abbreviate some stuff, and I don't know what the hell that means. But the American Israel is a little bit more known topic, so there's that. Let's see. Black notes. Okay, okay. All right. Enough about that. That's not going to be the topic today. I do want to read some comments. Let's see if I can find this. Salad Slaps commented on Ice. Let's see what he says. Ice, wherever you are, we'll find you. This mofo. All right. And I put a reply on there, and I said they're making Ice look like the criminals, but all illegals gotta go. You gotta go. And if there are other illegals there, they also gotta go. And what I mean by that is, like, when they come for criminal illegals, you have to understand that ICE has warrants for criminals that are illegal. But when they go and serve these warrants, if there are other illegal immigrants, they will also take them. How do they find these illegal immigrants? Number one, when you start fighting them, guilty as guilty. When you start disrespecting them, guilty. As soon as ICE comes out of a truck, the illegal immigrants just spread out like somebody turned the lights on the room full of roaches. That's exactly how they know. So they are doing their job. I would say you and everybody else that tries to block ICE, just get the hell out the way. They're not there for you. They arrested an American citizen, this jackass, that went over there and slashed, the tires of one of the ICE agents. So they race him, and then you see the Chicana wife. Oh my God, my husband's an American citizen. Why are you after my husband? Shut the hell up. You commit the crime, you pay the price. There's consequences to your damn price, to your damn corruption. Your criminal activities will be punished. Period. I don't give a crap who you are. Even if you're the president like Barack Obama, you're going to pay the price. As a matter of fact, let me tell you about President Barack Obama. I know that thanks to Donald Trump, which I hate this, that he's going to benefit from it probably. Thanks to Donald Trump, Obama may not get prosecuted on many things. But here's my fight and my argument against that. Even though you are a president, we the people, now I can say we the people because we are voters and we are the ones that we put presidents in line. Even if we lose, we still vote, we're still part of the we the people. And speaking of, that's who the Constitution is for Americans that can vote. Americans, not everybody. Americans that can vote. And my green card holders, I love you very much and everything, but you don't have that right. You don't get to vote. Period. With that being said, only Americans can vote, and this guy right here voted for Donald Trump. I love that. That's a privilege. With that being said, everything that ICE is doing, they are doing to protect us, the American people. Those who don't stand with us stand against us. And therefore, I have no respect for them. I love them, but I have no respect for them. You are like a locust in the fields. You eat everything until there's nothing. And then everything dies. That needs that sustainment to survive. Son langostas que se comen toda la grama del campo y no dejan nada de comida para aquellos que necesitan vivir de ella. Son unos ladrones, asesinos, violadores, malcriados, falta de respeto a la comunidad, a la gente, al vecino. De seguro insultan a sus madres, les dicen nombres, así como los nombres que usan conmigo, estoy seguro que también lo usan con su familia. Malcriados. Sorry, I had to say something to the Spanish people in here because apparently they don't speak English well enough. So I have to say something for them. I'm a half a century old, and I think I know a lot about life. I don't know everything, but I have experienced a lot in life. Let's take a look at another comment here. Let's see here. Not the Canadians. Canadians love me. I appreciate that. David DeRuse. ICE is doing a great job. Thanks for the support, my brother. Kelly Mason. Here's your daddy. Best president ever. There you go. All right. Let's see. Somebody said that President Trump is king. My reply to him was, he doesn't think he is king. He is doing what we ask him to do. We won. You sit back and shut up. You had your turn, and now it's our turn. That's democracy. You want to say democracy? Respect that. Let's see what else we have here. Glenn Gagnon says, okay, so Glenn is talking about tariffs, guys. And Glenn says, products in stores from other countries that have tariffs on them, they are charging more to make up for the tariffs. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and jump into tariffs, and we'll go back and forth, okay? Super jails. I hope they build a lot more jails. There's a lot more people that need to be in them. There's too many criminals that are multiple repeated offenders of the same crime, and Democrats are so stupid that keep releasing them into the public to cause more harm. That's very non-productive. But here we go. Why don't we touch up on some tariffs? Because you guys are a bit ignorant when it comes to tariffs. Not the ones that agree with me, okay? Just the ones that don't know what the tariffs are for. Now, I'm going to go ahead and say, you can Google this, and what I recommend on the Google search is tariffs versus local taxes. Now, I did it for Washington State. You can do it for whatever. Here we go. This is what it says about tariffs versus local taxes. Tariffs and local taxes are both mechanisms governments use to generate revenue and influence economic activity, but they differ significantly in their scope, purpose, and impact, especially within the context of Washington State. So if you're a Washington State, resident, then here we go. We're talking about that. The purpose of tariffs are primarily used protect domestic industries from foreign competition by increasing the price of imports. Now, before I continue with reading this, I would like to remind you guys. Now, if I think most of my public are my age, 50 or older, maybe some that are younger, but if you don't know or have experience in your life in history, before the Democratic Party in the 90s, especially in the 80s, we had a lot of manufacturing jobs happening here. And I'm talking about building cars, anything mechanical, metal, etc. We used to have a lot more farmers. Go you know what? Ford Tough, but I have a Jeep. I have a Grand Cherokee Laredo Limited. Oh yeah, you get the little. This is why my office looks so wonderful here with the leather seats. This is my office. Not studio because I don't do edit. Well, actually, I do some editing here sometimes, but I support American. My God, I forgot what I was saying, man. All right, let me get back to the definition here. I'm sure it's going to come back. Okay, I was talking about the manufacturers, okay? The reason why Jeeps lose so much money is regulation and taxation. The government taxes our manufacturers way too much. They regulate too much. And those regulations have a lot of hardship on a lot of businesses. Those regulations don't need to be there, okay? But if we give tax cuts to businesses, they will sustain the workforce. Now, these guys that are putting comments on my videos here complain about tariffs. Oh my God, tariffs are so bad. They're destroying the country. No, they're not. We have the better economy than the last 12 years, okay? So let's see. I've studied economics for 30 years. You're very misinformed. Here we go. Christian Barajas. I don't know how old you are, but I don't care about college education when you can use common sense and watch the market yourself. A lot of manufacturers, the dollar has always been powerful and is going down. It went down a lot in value when Biden. Now it's going right back up. Let me tell you something, Master Chief of Economics, 30 years of economics. If you see something that is high priced and you call that a great economy, something's wrong with you. High pricing doesn't mean a great economy. All right, so you're 3 years older than me. That doesn't mean anything. Let me tell you something, and the reason why we're going to touch on tariffs, okay? And now I'm reading this, like literally reading it, so that I don't make a mistake with what it actually means. But here's the deal. For the last few decades, we have been losing manufacturers and businesses. And look at this. You're economics, so you should know that what I'm saying is right. We used to be a nation or national strong economy. Somewhere along the lines, the Democratic Party decided to turn that into global economic society. And I don't like that. Why is it global? Because number one, they make a lot of money. We don't. So if you want to talk about money, that's what you can talk about. But we the people don't make that money. Corrupted politicians do. I don't like that. I think politicians are servants and they should work for us and they should do the best. Now let me tell you this. Tariffs, and we're going to read the definition, right? But tariffs are used to make deals, number one. Number two, it is to encourage manufacturers to stay here in the United States of America. And what happens when they stay here in the United States of America? They have to hire Americans. Now, we have a big problem with a lot of illegal immigrants working, taking those jobs. Not to say that they don't know how to do the job, not to say that we don't need them, but we need them to be legal so that nobody can talk shit about them. And they can assimilate. If they cannot assimilate, guess what that means? They don't qualify to be here at all. Okay, there's no deals being made. How much was it that he made over there in the Middle Eastern for the next 10 years? 13 to 14 trillion dollars. Apple's coming back. They started with 500. Now they're going to do another $100 billion. That's $600 billion that they're going to spend here in the United States. You know how much revenue that goes into our economy? That's local economy. That's not money that China is going to get. That's not money that Russia or Europe or the UK is going to get. That's money that's going to go right here into our economical process that we have in this country. I don't know if it's called process, but bear with me. I think that especially cities like in the coast, right? So you got Florida, we got Canada, we have California, and then we have Washington, we have Oregon. There is ports over here. A lot of, I listen to MSNBC, CNN, and Fox. I compare all three of them. I don't listen to anybody else. Oh, no, I do. I listen to, what is that network? Believe it or not, I listen to some of Now This. They're Democrats, I believe. And what's the other one that I do a lot? Dang it, what is it? I listen to some news from China, some news from Canada, and some news down from South America. It's interesting how they talk about things that we over here argue about, and they agree with Donald Trump on so many things, but for some reason we have crazy people here that don't agree with it. But anyways, going back to tariffs, if we have tariffs here, what's the purpose of a tariff? Okay, so if you don't know what deals have been made, you have been missing the news a lot. Okay, but there has been a lot of deals, and especially if you think that tariffs don't make deals, how do you think Donald Trump has been stopping wars? With tariffs. If the tariffs were so bad, why is the world putting tariffs on us? Right? So I'm just going to say that there it is. So the world uses tariffs against us. Why not us against them? We also need to make money for the people. They're making their money. We're losing money. People are going to come and give me the argument, oh my God, if we have tariffs, the iPhone is going to be so expensive. Shut the hell up. Do you need to have an iPhone that's cost $1,500 to $1,700? No, you don't. But if you want it, it's a luxury. There's plenty of other phones that are cheap. But if you choose to buy an expensive phone, that's your prerogative. Now, with that being said, my phone was $1,500. But I'm not bitching about the price. Yeah, it could be tariff made. I don't give a shit. If I want to have a luxury, I will pay for it. But what really hurts you, and I think that a lot of people, they just need to unplug. But correct. That is correct, Angie. If this, listen to this. Listen to this. Donald Trump put tariffs. Now, since he said tariffs, I went to look for it. And I know in our history, you guys remember why we separated from the freaking British. It was for taxes. Well, besides they were freaking burning down some villages and doing a lot of other shady shit. But we were upset about the taxes. No to the king. We don't want the king to collect taxes from us. What the hell is this guy? You remember that in history, hopefully. You're 53 years old, so I'm sure you have listened to some of this history. With that being said, Trump put tariffs on. Everybody's freaking out. Oh, the market, the stock, shut the hell up with the stock market. That stock market crashes and rises up so many times. People were cursing me out and telling me, oh yeah, how is your 401k doing now? And I was like, well, my 401k took a dive, and guess what? Now I got way more money than what I had before. So what I say? Shut the hell up. And then now we're going to touch on something different. The tariffs are for imports. Tariffs are not for national businesses. If you decide to be a global business, you depend on imports from China, from India, from other countries. India is getting hit with more tariffs right now because Donald Trump is trying to stop the war between Russia and Ukraine. The Congo and Uganda, that have been fighting for so many decades. Now they have an agreement. Donald Trump did that. That's a deal. Tariffs has a lot to do with it. Canadians talk a lot of shit about the United States. What do you hear the most right now? We'll get to our local taxes, my friend. That's not tariffs. Tariffs don't do that. That's our local government that is shitting on us. And they think they're just putting pastries on our front porch. Excuse me. But Canadians, not all of them, because there's a lot of liberals and leftist extremists in Canada as well. I mean, the crazy thing that the Carney said was that the Canada, the whole country, it's a Muslim country. Never heard of that before. But he says that's their culture. Okay? So tariffs has been making waves, and now while people hate it in Canada, a lot of people, like the beautiful people in Alberta, they have made trade deals with Donald Trump that now they're not paying tariffs on a lot of the products that they are giving to us. And I believe they're still negotiating some other products. But the fact is, they are trying to secede from Canada. They disagree with Carney, their prime minister. And now they're having talks that they might even consider becoming the 51st state. And I think that we need a 51st, 52nd, 53 maybe. I am not happy with that because there's still too many damn liberals in there that don't care about their own country, their own people. And I think that that causes a problem. So taxes, local taxes, is where I come in. Everybody complained about the tariffs that Donald Trump said, yeah? Says the guy that calls California Canada. I'm sorry. I apologize. Pio, I'm sorry. Yeah, you know, it's just Californians, man. They've been, they're just like Canadians, man. What can I say? Okay, so here, now you go to local taxes. So Donald Trump puts tariffs on, gets some deals done, but the people are not happy. Whatever. The matter of the fact is, hey Omar, how you doing, brother? The fact of the matter is that it has made people come to the table to make deals. The second thing is Donald Trump put tariffs on, and the Democrats like to say, like here, our useless governor, Bob Ferguson, likes to blame everything on Donald Trump. And if you notice something, that every time some Democrat is screwing something up, all they have to say is, well, at least I'm not Donald Trump. That means they don't give a shit about you or anybody else that is in this country. All they care about is making their own money. Now, let me get to the point of these tariffs. They keep blaming everything, high prices on tariffs. Let me tell you what I know. The gasoline price here in Washington State is $1.20 higher than anywhere else. If it wasn't for the taxes that the government here in Washington State has put in gas, we would be paying $1.50 less than what we're paying right now. Now, there is people out there that are ignorant about how much taxes they take from us. They take 50 cents for this, 10 cents for that. But what they don't tell you is how many times you're going to pay those 50 cents on everything that you spend. When you go to the grocery, what do you see at the grocery? Expensive milk, expensive products. Oh my God, the tariffs, shut the hell up. The tariffs are for imports. If we're making the milk, why is the milk so high? Why is the price of our products and food so high? It's not tariffs. It's taxes. That's your local government. So don't talk to me about tariffs are a bad thing. Yeah, well, lucky you pay $2.10 over there. We're paying almost $5 over here in Washington. I know. Sorry I was going to say Canadians again. Sorry for California. You're paying a lot more than that, but that's your problem. You don't want to stand up and say anything. That's your prerogative. Now, let me see, Christian, I'll give you a chance. I've had 30 years in the manufacturing industry and worked with economics for years. I'm not a liberal Democrat. You are misinformed. Okay, so whatever you are, see, the characteristics that favor those people, liberals and far left or Democrats. Remember what I said at the beginning of this video, and maybe you haven't been there for the whole life. I love patriotic Democrats. And I think that Democrats they think the way that they think for a reason. And we'll get to that when I talk about Congress. But local taxes, they raise property taxes. They have forced real estate, but they have forced landlords to raise the price on their rent. But for two things. One of them, the price goes up because of high demand. And this is where the illegal immigrants come in place. And then people migrating from other states that are shittier than ours, which eventually will make ours shitty as well. But until then, we'll see how far we can go with it. But they raise the prices on the people that are just working hard to just provide for their families. That's not cool. That is not fair. Angie, $2.75 in Texas, bro. That's expensive. Freaking Texas pumps oil every day, man. That should be a lot less than that. Yeah, what do I know? We make sure we elect the correct officials locally and hold them accountable. Yeah, Trinity, 100%. Local elections are more impactful than federal elections. Man, 100%, bro. I am. Is it a guy or girl? I'm sorry. Trinity, help. That's from the Matrix, if you didn't know. Go ahead and let me see. What is not true so far, Christian? I'll give you okay. I like it. So now I like Trinity even better. I think Trinity sounds better for a female anyway. Hopefully you're not pulling my chain. Be some fat guy with a long beard and just munching some nachos all over the belly and the couch. I watch too many movies. I'm a science fiction, action kind of guy. I do drama once in a while. but not much. Go ahead, Christian. I'm saying something wrong here, and I want to be corrected. Okay, I'm going to continue reading while you make up your mind there. You said, okay, let me see. You said that his tariffs are benefiting businesses, especially overseas, and that's not true. Wait. That's not what I said. What I said is not our tariffs, the tariffs that they put on our products, right? That's how they make money, not us. So now that we put tariffs on them, now we can start getting some of that money back to us. Let's see. Across the board, American businesses are losing money. And like I said, this is why we're talking about local taxes, because you need to be informed of. See, I'm the type of person that will look at, if you give me some information, I will look at the negative, but also the positive about what you're telling me. And then I make up my mind on what I think makes sense, okay? So let me tell you something. There's a lot of taxes, hidden taxes, that most business owners don't know. And what is the reward that you get from corrupted government that put taxes and regulations on businesses? The more successful you are, your reward is, we'll take more of your benefits away from you. And then we're going to do as we see fit. For example, there is billions of dollars in this budget that we created here in Washington State. Now, this is before the corrupted government. We were about $16 billion on the good side. We had plenty of money to do any project, and everything is great. We get our sleazy, junkie, Jay Inslee for 2 terms. I think it was 3 terms, man. I mean, it was forever. It was an eternity. This guy was a jackass. He almost destroyed Washington State. He allowed the Seattle precinct to be taken over. And then he blamed Donald Trump because of the National Guard. And then he said, oh, I didn't know that it was happening in Seattle. Bitch, where have you been? You are the governor. Seattle is the main capital of Washington State. I know it's supposed to be Olympia, but Seattle is the biggest city here. This is where all the movement happens, baby. And he didn't know anything about it. Whatever. The point is, they tax gas, your food. We pay a tax on our income. You pay property taxes when you buy the house, and then you're forced to pay high property taxes. And the excuse for them is to say, well, we're going to maintain our streets, and we're going to have to give a lot of money to the schools. And you know what they do with that money? They don't give shit to the schools. They put their money on NGOs. Do you know what NGOs are? Let me see, Trinity. Our local government had planned to reassess the property early, so we went to the board meeting and shut it down. Good for you, mama. Reassessment means higher value. Yep, I know. Remember, Trump went through that shit to charge more property taxes, and we stopped them. Good for you, man. That's what I'm talking about. I wish we had more people like you, Trinity. You know what, I'm not that good at getting people together for things like that. And the events that I have seen Patriots here in Washington, like the Washingtonians, are, man, I missed them. I should have been there. And I know it's a big sacrifice because we all have working lives, right? Okay, so Christian is very well informed. He makes 7 figures, man. You know what, bro? You need to give me some of that. You're a socialist, right? I need some of that money, man. I need to pay some bills. I appreciate you. 7 figures. Just all I need is maybe $5,000 a month. That'd be great. Let's see. The auto industry has been at its worst in 30. Dude, that's what I'm talking about. But it's not Donald Trump's tariffs. Those Donald Trump tariffs are bringing those manufacturers back. It's not from the night to morning that you're going to change the mistakes that somebody's been doing for decades. It's going to take some time. But even though these manufacturers are not created yet, we have at least a commitment. How long does it take to make a building? It doesn't take a week. It takes months, and depending on the size of that building, it takes years. Make America great again, Omar. Let's see, Christian, is also because the past 4 years has made it unaffordable to buy new vehicles. Now, what's crazy, Trinity, with that is that this sucker, and it's probably this guy that's making seven figures. I wonder what kind of car you drive. If you can just share with us, what vehicle do you drive? I'm going to say one because I don't think that you'd be materialistic to have more than one car if you don't need it, right? Give me your brand. What car do you drive? This is how misinformed I am. I am going to say, oh, three cars. Is one of them an Audi? Mercedes? He only watched Fox. It's so hard for me to stomach CNN, that's for sure. MSNBC, they're a bunch of bullshitters. Go ahead, Christian. Show me your seven-figure cars. Let me see if you got taste. What kind of cars? Do you have all American cars? Beautiful Ford? Good job, Trinity. Ford? Toyota Tacoma? All right. I believe you. You sound Mexican, so I believe you. That Dodge Charger especially. Toyota Tacoma? Yeah, probably. Ford Lightning? I don't know about that. Maybe. I don't even know what the hell that is. Maybe that's out of my price range. That's probably why I don't know. But anyways, I've been a big supporter of Buy American, Support American, okay? Toyota is not American. Matter of fact, F Toyota. One time when I was living down in California, I was down there for a few years. Then I gave up. I couldn't afford to live there no more. I went with my Malibu car that I bought, brand new, 0 miles. I drove it for 2 years. I put about, 20,000 miles on it. Okay. I went to a Toyota dealer in California. I'm not going to say where because I don't remember the city that I went to. I was just looking for a car somewhere. And I went upstairs to the second floor, and there was all these Japanese guys in suits, okay? And they said, hey, can we help you? And I was like, yeah, I'm coming in to see if I can trade my vehicle. And he goes, they all go, oh yeah, what kind of vehicle? And I said, well, I'm trying to get a Toyota car. Obviously, I'm here. And I want to trade my Chevy Malibu. You know what they did? They said, I kid you not. They laughed so loud, so disrespectful. They said, American. And he turned around and walked away. Here in America, in our beautiful United States of America, these mofos laughed at our product as if they are the shit. They're not. I've seen a lot of fucking Toyotas. Oh man, excuse my language. That actually pisses me off. I've seen a lot of Toyotas failing. Engine problems, brake problems, etc. Every vehicle is going to have some problems. But the fact that they laughed at me, I will never forget, and they walked away with their fancy suits, so F them. If you work for Ford, you also bought a Toyota and a Dodge, then wonder why it's losing money. Yeah, good for you, mama. The shitty part about buying American, and I say this, no, he said he works in the car manufacturing business or something like that, I think. What I really hate about the value of American cars is how fast they devalue when you leave the parking lot at the dealer. I think that needs to change. I think that pricing should drop on foreign cars, and when it comes to value. And the pricing should be a lot higher than American vehicles. That's 100%. Now, if my biggest problem is not that tariffs don't cause a burden on the people. It does. The consumer pays for it. But let's take a look at what really affects us Americans. Because one thing is to say, tariffs have raised the price of gas. Not just gasoline, but I mean gas, natural gas, the electricity, the food, everything. The tariffs have ruining everything, and everything is so expensive because of tariffs. That's what I'm against. Because what raises those prices is not tariff. It's local taxes. We talked about property taxes. Trinity mentioned that in property taxes. The government thinks that we're all stupid. And we still got to get to Congress. So hopefully the 5 subscribers or the 5 people watching this live are going to get something out of this video. I don't understand why people that have so much knowledge on, like this guy, 30 years of, what did he say, economic experience or something? He doesn't see that. He doesn't see that what causes prices to rise is the local tax. You got taxes on everything. I mean, my dollar is worth nothing by the time that you count how many times it has been taxed. People don't think about it. You know, we went from $16 billion budget to now negative $16 billion. And this year they added another $9.5 billion to that debt. So we're looking at at least $25 billion in debt. And guess who gets to pay that? What's up, Johnny? We do. The taxpayers get to pay that. That's not a tariff. That's the local government taxing. Now, what's important is that this local government reps, senators, and governors, they work for us. We expect them to make us money, because us working it means time away from our families. And this is why a lot of schemes out there to make quick money work, because people are desperate. We want to see some results. That is correct, Trinity. Bringing jobs back. And it's going to take some time, because manufacturers don't get built in a temporary tent. They need to build good infrastructure for those buildings. We need to build better roads. I wish that our taxes was benefiting all of us, but it's not. Let me tell you something to you guys that think you know everything about how the government is spending your money. The best way for us to be served is for the government to say, hey, so we need a donation for this much. We're going to use this much money for this project. They don't do that. They just take the money. And when they don't want to tell us what they're doing their money with, what they're doing with our money, they just give it to an NGO. And I don't think anybody told me what an NGO is. NGOs are used to launder money. NGOs are used to hide the money that corrupted politicians are stealing from the American people, from the taxpayer. Now, I'm not a 30-year experienced economist, but I'm not an idiot. That's right. I wish somebody else would have said it, Trinity. I know you know. That's what it is. They make up an organization, and then they give money, and they put money in there. Look at the corrupted politician. What's her name? Letitia, I think it was. $2 billion. I think it was, I don't want to get too excited. I think it was $2 billion that was missing. They're like, wait a minute. Where does $2 million go? Oh, as soon as she knew that they were going to investigate, she put that shit back into the account. Isn't that funny? So, us as Americans, we want this government to be held accountable. If you screw up with my money, I want you to be accountable for it. Tell me how you messed it up, and well, what are you willing to fix? If you're not willing to fix it, or you don't know how, then get the hell out the way of Donald Trump, because he's doing something to fix our country. He's doing something to fix the economy that Democrat corrupted politicians have been destroying. Now, remember what I said. When I say Democrats, I don't mean Democrats as the patriotic people that I love. I'm talking about Democrat corrupted politicians. How can you sit there and even call yourself a Democrat? Like, right now is the most shameful party to be a part of, because they are not serving you. They keep lying to you. You know, what's it called? Gerrymandering, I think is what it's called. Yeah, gerrymandering is when they start dividing districts into different more districts, so that more people can have, the population gets redistributed or something like that. Okay, thank you, Trinity. And the Democrats have done this in the past many times, And Republicans have supported that. But now, when a Republican wants to do that, like in Texas right now, what do? They run away. They say they're not afraid, yet they run away because they are afraid that they're going to be put in jail. Why would they get put in jail? Because they are deserting their position, which they swore an oath. They swore an oath and broke it. Now they got the FBI trying to go after these two idiots. And they happen to have Hispanic names. What a freaking coincidence. That's a moron. You want to call me a moron? Go ahead. But you have to call them a moron as well. A bunch of jackasses. And they think people are not paying attention. This in the 1990s. Social media, internet, YouTube, all that shit is out there for you to get informed. Now, I'm going to say this to you loyalist Democrats. Listen, I don't hate you. You can disagree with me, and you can call Donald Trump whatever you want to call him. You say he's a felon. 30-something counts of felony. Let me remind you, made-up felonies. They made one count, and they multiplied it in 32, 34 times. They impeached him, and they told us, Shifty Shift said, we have so much evidence. I can't share it with you yet, but we have so much evidence. He is going to jail. He is going to be put in jail. Shifty Shift was stared down, and I don't know if they were violent against them in California. I'm not saying you are, Marisol, but the mentality. They hate Shifty Shift in California. A friend of mine that I played video games with, I played Destiny 2 with him. He is 56 years old, and we play the game. He tells me a lot of stuff that happens in California, and he had met him at the grocery store and told him, why am I paying so much for this food, Shifty Shift? And the guy didn't know what to do. He freaked out. He just freaked out, and a lot of people went off on him. A lot of people don't believe the lies all the time. Now, they went after Trump, and I made my first couple of videos on this. I don't believe what I hear. I believe what I see and what I research. What did Talib Rashid, I think is her name, right? What did she say when you and I voted to put President Donald Trump in office? I apologize. That's a lie. I couldn't vote the first time. I was not a citizen yet because I was still a resident for 20-something years. But I supported, and American citizens voted Donald Trump in. What did they do? Right away, the first thing they did was attack democracy. They say Donald Trump is destroying democracy. Republicans are puppets of Donald Trump, and we're destroying democracy. But they have been attacking democracy since the very beginning of time. And that's just the way I see it. But what did the Talib Rashid said when Donald Trump became president? Come on, somebody. What did she say? Since you guys, since some people think they know more than me, well, they probably do, but I want you to tell me, what did Talib Rashid said about Donald Trump when he got elected as president? Christian, tu papi chulo. Who's your daddy? Let me see if somebody says it. Marisol, Christian, anybody? Yeah, they can say that, that he's a liar. But Marisol, I promise, I'm going to give you some information, and then you research it, and then you can do with it what you will, okay? He is my daddy. Donald Trump is my daddy. 100%. I respect that man so much. Nobody has been attacked like he has been attacked. Nobody has actually shot him. It actually took a little piece of his ear, apparently. I respect that man. Man, if he was my daddy, I'd be the luckiest man on earth. For sure, he is a great man. He's a little awkward for the way he was raised, but he's 100% on. Donald Trump can be my daddy anytime. I'd be the proudest son ever. I would make Donald J. Trump Jr. look like a jackass of how much of a good son I would be to my dad. Donald Trump Jr., much respect for you, brother. He actually talks too much like me as well. Uh, hey, what's wrong with that? I tell my firstborn is 29 years old. I say to him, I said, who's your daddy? And he just laughed and he said, come on, dad. No, no, no. Who's your daddy? For real. Like, who's your daddy? In front of his grown girlfriend. You are. Ain't nothing shameful. It ain't my fault that you're thinking sexual deprivation. Perversion, I'm sorry. Yeah, no. You like worship this man. I don't worship him, but what I'm giving you is just sarcasm, okay? Because a lot of people hate him, but they don't even know why they hate him. They call him a racist. They call him a bigot. They call him all this stuff, okay? They're just, what I'm saying to you is just jokes. But the fact is that I do respect the man. And I think that he's done a lot of great things for this country, and people are not appreciative of that. But anyway, uh, you know, we need to call it as we see it. So if you think that I don't know, I ask you questions so that you can get interactions with me. I know there's not that many of us online right now, but your interaction is how we get results. Let me go ahead and stop on the tariffs a little bit, and let me go ahead and touch up on Congress, because this is part of what they have been doing to Donald Trump as well. They're talking right now, and of course they're not meaning literally, but they're talking about nuclear war amongst each other. Republicans are saying this and Democrats are saying this. What's very dangerous in our country, okay, there's quite a lot of things, to be honest, but what's most dangerous is that these politicians come. I know, Trinity, she's not going to be able to answer me how I'm a liar or how Trump is a liar. She won't be able to answer. That's just the way that, this is what I'm saying, that this is why we think you're a Democrat. Because that's exactly how they react. They start accusing somebody without any proof of anything. Now, people tried to do that a couple nights ago in my life about religion, about Jesus, and all this other stuff. And, well, you can't prove me wrong. I like people to change my mind. And, see, I don't watch only Fox. We don't watch only Fox. I watch different news reporting after I seen myself live what the actual president says or what the cabinet has says. And then when I look at the reporting, I see how one is left-sided. The other one at least tries to be neutral, which is Fox. When I listen to CNN, oh my God, I cannot believe that these people are American. I would think that this is a news channel that hates the country, that they're not American. And I haven't looked into them, but who knows? Maybe they're not. But Democrats have been lying to the people for so long. It's so crazy. First, they started with Trump. Nobody answered to me what Talib Rashid said about Donald Trump when he got elected. Or maybe I missed it. But the first thing that she said was, we're going to impeach the motherfucker, right? That's exactly what she said. We're going to impeach the motherfucker. And what does that mean? The people just used their democracy to get this man in office. You're telling me that you're rejecting the democracy that the majority of the people have voted with, and yet you call Donald Trump the person that is attacking our democracy. How hypocritical is that? And how stupid is it that Americans here don't understand or see that? I said, wait a minute. When George Bush gave the office to Obama, yeah, there were some tensions. He wasn't happy about it. But we had to put up with it for 8 years. We didn't say Democrats are attacking our democracy because they won twice. Excuse me. You know what? The fake pandemic, I still want to see Fauci in jail. I was one of the few people that stood up with it, and I ended up getting the vaccine so that I can travel to Honduras. But I'm still pissed off that they forced me to do that. I'm an idiot for doing it, to be honest. I didn't let them do it to my kids, but I had to get the shot. And then I got 3 follow-up shots on top of that. Now I got some problems breathing. I don't know if it's just because I'm getting old, but I have not experienced so much complications since I took my vaccination. So hopefully I can get to live a few more years. Let's see. One independent journalist, because I guarantee they're biased. So, Christian, one of the things is we all have opinions, and we all make deductions of what we see in life. And, what that somebody else is reporting. That's great, but what I want to hear is what the actual politicians say themselves, and then I want to hear the news from those countries out there, how they talk and how they react, and that you can see that anywhere. So, let's see. The manufacturing industry shouldn't have been sellouts, and they would have been hurting. Yeah, I believe Ford was one of those manufacturers that didn't sell out. So more power to them. Project 225. Tell me what Project 25 is. Actually, matter of fact, let me look it up, because I think I ignored that project, to be honest. Project 25. Hey, even if you are against me, why don't you hit that like button, will you? I appreciate it. At least give me something for the time, right? Let's see. What the hell is this? It says your personal investment in the life of a vulnerable child will forever impact their future. The 25 project is bringing the hope of Jesus to these children and communities. I don't think that's what you meant. I'll put 2025 because Project 25 is not the same, I don't think. All right, let's see. Let's see. All right, Project 2025 is a political initiative aimed at reshaping the federal government of the United States of America. I'm 100% for it. Let's see. Primarily driven by conservative policies. Well, that makes sense, right? It seeks to downsize the federal government and fundamentally change various aspects, including the tax system, which needs to be changed. It's spearheaded by the Heritage Foundation. Project 2025 draws inspiration from the Reagan era. Oh my God, Ronald Reagan is one of my favorites. Sorry, you're losing points with me on that one. Let's see. Mandate for leadership, absolutely, and serves as a roadmap for the next conservative president. The initiative includes a policy guide, database of potential personnel for the next administration, and a playbook for actions to be taken within the first 180 days in office. I think that Donald Trump, let me tell you something. I am the kind of person that I will not tell you to do something that I wouldn't do. Like, for example, when I used to be a missionary pastor, my wife and I, after, number one, watch this, and not to be religious, but I want to give you an example of the kind of person that I am and why I like Donald Trump. When I was a missionary pastor, my wife and I worked full time. My wife was not working at the time. Now we both work. I used to go with my wife and the kids. We go to the church, we open up, we make sure everything is set up. We had a couple of people come and help us. A lot of the members of the church, which was only like 50 people, they would come in and help us set up and clean up, vacuum, etc. At the end of the service, I always like to do opening prayer, of course, and then we did a little bit of worship, and then we did the word, and then if somebody needed prayer, we'll do prayer, or we just close in prayer. After that, when everybody leaves, mind you, I have to stay behind. I got to talk with people. People have questions, advice, things like that, right, that they want. My wife and I would go into the bathrooms, and we would clean the bathrooms ourselves. I took my suit jacket off, my tie off, and then I roll up my sleeves, and I kid you not. And I will go in and start scrubbing the toilets, spraying disinfectant and smelling it good, and I'm singing and I'm working, and my wife is singing and she's working, until some of the members came to say, "Hey, Pastor, why are you cleaning the toilets?" I said, "Why not? It's the house of God, and the people that come here to worship, they deserve a clean toilet when they come in here." They're like, "Oh, well, you're a pastor." No, it's like, that doesn't matter, does it? And so I would clean the toilets. How many pastors you know that clean toilets? Probably none. Or maybe you do know some. My point is, if I ask somebody, can you please do the bathrooms on Wednesday night after service? I think it's fair to ask. If they don't, I do it myself. So when Donald Trump says he expects somebody to do something, he's doing it. From what I read right here, he's done it. He's proven that it can work. Now, you guys know that J.D. Vance is going to be the next president. And my prediction was that, what's my friend's name? Rubio. Marco Rubio will be vice president. I think that right now, J.D. Vance can run for 2 terms, and he's going to win. And then Marco Rubio can run for 2 terms with my favorite, Tulsi Gabbard. And they can run for 2 terms as well. So I have hope for America yet. And here's the thing, the beauty about our democracy in this constitutional republic. If they do a bad job, if they are screwing up and allowing illegal immigrants to be in here, if they're giving all of our money to the world but not to the people, we're going to do the same shit that we did this last election on the failure of Biden's administration. If they would have protected our borders, even though he was senile, he was not there, we probably would have still kind of supported him, but he failed us. He allowed 21 million illegal immigrants in here, and every day we hear the news about a rapist, about a criminal. The latest was a Tren de Aragua criminal that actually killed his sister-in-law and beat his wife almost to death. We're living in a society where reverse racism is more popular today. I watched a show back in the mid-'80s when the person was asking single black women if the father of the children were present. You know what the answer was? And it's crazy. 1986, I believe, was the year. We don't depend on a man. We live better off as single mothers. Let me guess why. You get child support, you get welfare, and that's what you want. You're used to living in the ghetto. You don't have a dream. You don't have a vision for your children to have a better future, which is my negative comments here that come in here. It's the people that come in here and talk crap about Donald Trump or even about us that are trying to protect this country. That's what they want. They're lazy. They are what do you call that in English? Bloodsuckers. They depend on the government so much. And they don't care how ghetto they live as long as they can have their 40s and their weed. As long as you can be a criminal, it doesn't matter. That is your nature. I just went to watch a football game last night. And yeah, I'm very tired when I do these lives, by the way. But I do it because I like to get the interaction. Trinity, so much. I want to say so much. Thank you. I really appreciate you supporting your comments in there. It's not easy to try to bring light to people, when everybody wants to be negative about you. But I think it's important that we have the discussion. Hopefully, Christian changes his mind when he does a little bit more research about what the political corrupted Democrats are doing. And I hope that, one day the Democratic Party becomes better, because I believe that competition is important. And we should be able to have more choices. We should be able to say, wait a minute, I know you're Republican, but you're no, that's not right. This is not good. We, the people, get to put the people in office, right? And then we get to put up. If we fail to nominate the right person, then we have to pay the price. But right now, thankfully, we have put the right person in office. Kamala had more. Oh my God, Marisol, please say it ain't so. Marisol, you trolling me. I know you don't mean. Oh my. Trinity, help. That's the line from the Matrix. I said that earlier, right? That's Neo when he's getting shot and he's just like going backwards, like skipping all the bullets, right? Oh my God, Marisol, please tell me you're trolling that you did not say Kamala on my channel. Even I haven't mentioned Kamala. I've been trying to leave her out of respect for women. Oh, okay. See, this is why I need you, Trinity. Thank you so much. I hope that was sarcastic. Oh my God. Please tell me it ain't so. But anyway, so you have this. People lie about Donald Trump from the beginning. We want to impeach him, impeach him, impeach him. 4 years, they try to impeach him. They try to put him in jail. I think he spent a night in jail, I think. And while he was not president. And then he fought, and now Obama is going to have the benefits of what he fought for. But the point is that he doesn't have to be in office. He's a billionaire, and he can make money regardless of what people think. He has used bankruptcy plenty of times, I'm sure. But that's what the system says. Oh yeah, she had so much experience. Well, now that Trinity put that in my mind, it makes more sense the way you're saying it. The point is, there is a man, a family, an administration that absolutely cares 100% about this country. And the fact that we as Americans don't appreciate that is very scary. Our enemies are watching everything that we do here. Everything the congressmen have told you. I watched 3.5 hours live while these Democrats were fighting for the big, beautiful bill. And all their complaint was, we are here in the middle of the night. We're tired. The Republicans are so evil. They want us to be here so late at night because we can't think about it the way that we're supposed to. Shut the hell up. You're making a lot of money to sit there and work for the freaking people. If you don't do it for the money, you should do it as a patriot to your country. What are you doing for your country? That is my question. What are you doing about your country? The point is, they have been lying the whole time. You know what they say? The whole time that they argue about the big, beautiful bill. Now, I was up with them and watching live, and I complain not. Because as Americans, we need to be informed, and we need to see for our own selves what they're doing. One of my podcast videos, which podcast I want to do more, but I just don't have time. I talked about it. I talked about the bill. And he says, oh, we don't work for Donald Trump. We don't work for this. And I said, well, yeah, you work for yourselves. That was my video. And the fact that they're in there lying, they never want to say illegal immigrants. They always like to say migrants. And see, the way that they worded things in there, I caught them. And they were talking about illegal immigrants that send money to out of the country to their families. I get it. That's what you come here for. I get it. But illegally, they are, by the big, beautiful bill, being affected because they will no longer get medical assistance. They won't get TANF anymore. And so you have over 2 million illegal immigrants getting free benefits out of the taxpayers' money. How is that even fair? Nobody can say. That's right, Trinity. Just fly, bro. Just fly, Christian. You can learn to fly. We believe in you. They have lazy people that are able to work. And the reason, now I will say this. I don't blame them completely because the system is broken. Marisol, that is exactly the word that they kept saying over and over again. Oh, the big, beautiful bill. No, the big, ugly bill. It's gonna remove Medicare for 14 million Americans. American working citizens, taxpayers. He didn't mention the 2 million illegal immigrants and those able to work people getting those benefits, but we know that they're there. We have friends abusing the freaking system. If you don't see that, you're a moron, you're an idiot. But they kept saying, the big ugly bill, it's gonna cost this much money and it's gonna make a $5.5 trillion deficit. I was like, bitch, where is the $22 trillion that you mother stole from the American people? $22 trillion in debt, unaccounted for. That's your Democratic politicians right now. It's not about helping a billionaire. You go ahead and answer that question, and I will be with you 100%. Where did the $22 trillion unaccounted for money go? I'm sure we found a lot of it on the NGOs. We found a lot of them on Iran, on ISIS, and all these other terrorist associations that we know are bad, but yet somebody, I'm not going to say it was Obama, right, sent billions of dollars to them during his office. He deported about 3 million of my Hispanic people, and he allowed over 300,000 Muslims to come in, and let me guess where they went. There are some states that the population is so small. Now, you guys don't think, but think about this. 21 million illegal immigrants. If you don't get scared by this, you're an idiot, and you are blind, and you're a fool. 21 million illegal immigrants composes more than 32 states population. Man, did you hear that? 21 million illegal immigrants in this country is equal to more than 32 states population. What do you think is going to happen? Right now, the Democrats, all they can see is, oh, if we make these guys come in here and allow them to vote, we can stay in power longer. And, well, the people believe our lies. Do you know who the Democrats, who Obama and Hillary Clinton and all these Democrat corrupted politicians have been leaking information to? They don't leak it to Fox. They leak it to CNN, to MSNBC. They even said it themselves. That's crazy. Wait, how did this information get leaked? Oh, well, if you want to convince the public that this guy is bad, well, we got to leak something and make it look like something's there. Shifty Schiff did that for many years. Oh, we got him good. Oh, we got tons of proof and tons of... Bitch, you have nothing. You know how I know? Because they failed and they keep lying to you. I mean, there's so many things that, man, I'm trying to capture everything that is going around, and I'm trying to put it together in just one sentence, but I just can't. You have to see it for yourself. You have to see it for yourself. Nobody can teach you what the Matrix is. You have to see it for yourself. As we said, take the red pill and know the truth. I know, I'm quoting the Matrix. I want to watch it again. I've been thinking about this movie for a while. But there's that, okay? And I think that you can make your own decisions. You can make your own opinions. Assess the situation. They have lied to us about the Russia collusion. We know that. So why would we want to believe anything else they say? They say Trump is a racist. He's the only one that has been helping the black communities. Patrick, some bitch. I hear you there. I hear you there. So it's okay that the big beautiful bill is going to destroy national parks. You know, have you ever gone hiking? I go hiking a lot. And, well, no, I lied. I used to go hiking a lot. I should get back into it. But I buy the, here is called, what the hell is the pass called? Somebody knows what the pass is called here in Washington State to go to the, to go to the Parks and Park? Oh my gosh, why did I forget it? It's not a toll pass. It's a park so that I can go to certain. It's a pass so that I can go to certain parks and park for free. It's like $36 a year. Okay, so I go in hikes, and there is rangers. There is people that get paid a certain amount of money every year, so that they can take care of the parks, right? But what we find is that these people are not working. They open their little office, welcoming office for a couple hours, and then they take off. And then they close it. And then you come in there like in the middle of the day, in the morning or the afternoon, there's nobody there. They get free living because they get to live in the park, or close to the park. They get a oh my gosh, I'm losing my thoughts. They get a paycheck to be there, and yet they're not. So there's a lot of wasted money. There is personnel that we don't need, apparently, because nobody's there anyway. That's just my thoughts on that. So what else do you disagree with the big beautiful bill? And you can call it the big ugly bill that the Republicans are trying to bring to the people is going to destroy America. Is going to kill millions of Americans. I'm losing my connection there, I think. Anyways, the big beautiful bill hasn't been killing millions of people like they say. It is, however, forcing people to go back to work. You see, there's a lot of people, whether you think it or whether you like it or not, there is a lot of people that are so dependent on welfare. You have single women with 8 kids with different baby daddy living off welfare. Free housing, they get help with their electricity, they get food. One of them gets like $3,500 worth of food stamps, and then they get cash because they don't work, and because they have so many kids, the state doesn't really want to help to pay for the daycare because that will cost hundreds of thousands of dollars. So they allow the single mothers to stay home, live off the welfare, because what happens with that? Who supports women being dependent on welfare? Democrats. And they keep voting Democrats because of that. But that's not what Americans are. We are not here to be a burden to our country or to our brethren or to our countrymen, I should say. We are here to work hard, do our part, and give something back to the country that provides for you. That's what I believe. That you can say whatever you want about billionaires, but if you think like Mondani does in New York, you are a freaking moron. Because if you get rid of billionaires, how are you going to pay for their 300,000 employees that will lose their jobs? That doesn't work. You got to give the rich people tax cuts as well. Nobody wants to be a mule for somebody else. Yes, if it's Americans, Christian, I think we made a mistake to sell a lot of land to Chinese. But I believe every American should have the right to buy any land over here in the United States, except for protected areas that should be protected. Not all of them should. See, if I had the money and I bought, let's say for example, see, you have to think like a patriot. Let's say for example, I went and bought, I don't know, a couple of miles of trail or hiking trails. Number one, I would buy it because I can keep it. What I mean by keep it is maintaining it. I would like to know that I got this land that other Americans can enjoy. It will be protected. Hopefully the government will help a bit, right? But I want people to use that land as a hiking trail. That's why I will buy a hiking trail. So that's what I feel about that, okay? So if I am wrong on, or maybe I explained it the wrong way, I apologize about that. But that's what I think. Now, you know, the Congress that has been lying to you, they have pulled a stunt in Texas, right? They left Texas so that they don't, so that to sort of to stall the gerrymandering in Texas. I think it's needed They make it look like Republicans are fighting democracy again. Whoa, yeah, well, you know what? The people get to put people in office. Okay, they don't get to put people in office. We still have to vote. Let's see, raise wages, rent is so high. Why do you think that is, Marisol? I'm very curious, and I hope that you give me something good. Tell me why rent is so high, and also tell me if it's a good idea to keep raising minimum wage to $25 to $50 an hour. When I was in high school, our teachers, before we graduated, they will help us with trying to pick a career for our life. I will tell you why things haven't worked out for me from high school, but one of them in sports. Just to say a couple of things. I was the number one goalkeeper in high school in my whole state of Washington for 3 years in a row. I was number one punter, right? Obviously because of soccer that helped me, averaging 65 yards per punt, and this is for American football. I had a full scholarship to the University of Washington, a 4 year scholarship to the University of Washington to go do whatever I wanted to do in the university. I dislocated my knee very bad. I broke my left ankle playing basketball, not even playing the sport that I like to do. So there goes my sport abilities to go into the next level. Now, when it came to financial, I started with I got my girlfriend pregnant when I was graduating high school, and I had to pay child support ever since. I paid child support for 22 and a half years, proudly paid. Lived homeless for up to 7 months, I believe. That was really rough. I was sleeping in my car. I had a full-time job, and during this time, I was actually in California. I lived in it was what East Hollywood, very ghetto. But I lived in Hollywood. I slept in my car. Lucky for me, Comcast, which is on Cahuenga Boulevard in Hollywood, they had a shower and a small gym. And so what I used to do is when I would, I get up before sunrise, obviously. When I lost my home, because I was renting with a friend, they sold the house and I couldn't afford rent. The guy moved way too far away for me to go with him. So I slept in my car, but in the Cahuenga Boulevard Hollywood Comcast call center, the parking lot is kind of closed in, and the security guard knew me, and he allowed me to sleep in the car, which was not allowed, but he allowed me to sleep in the car, and I would just get up in the morning, go exercise a little bit, shower. I'll get in my car, and then I would just drive to the park, grab breakfast, just waited for my time to start work, went to work, then got off work, waited for nighttime in my car, wrote some poems and stories and whatever. Nobody in the government gave me any help. Now, they were taking 50% of my check for child support. And the way that it works is if you're making, let's say I was making maybe $2,000 a paycheck, okay? It wasn't. But let's just say that it was $2,000 a paycheck. They will take the $2,000, they will say, this is how much I make, this is how much taxes they're going to take, right? So they take the taxes, and then they took the 50% of my check before taxes. And that's what I pay in child support. Now I will go and apply for food stamps. You know what they say? You make too much money, son bitch. I apply for medical help. You know what they say? You make too much money, son bitch. Tell me that I'm okay with illegal immigrants being taken care of by the government with food stamps, medical help, and everything. And here I am, a freaking resident of the United States of America, living homeless in my car. I don't think so, Jack. I don't care what country you come from. The benefits are there for the American people, and the government has effed everything up. How is it possible that a person that works hard, no crime, even my driving record is impeccable. Been driving since I was 16 years old. And I didn't get a car from my mom or my dad. I've been on my own since I was 16 years old, 15 and a half. I had a friend's mom let me stay with them until I turned 16 and I was legally able to go to work. I went to work almost full time. I worked as much as I could. I came into the school half asleep. This was my schedule every day. At the end of my sophomore year, I was a 4.0 student. At the beginning of my junior year, I was taking 7 period classes. I would go to school. It starts at 7:15 in the morning. I would finish at 2:15 and start practicing for football or soccer, whichever was the season. And then I would get ready for work. I would walk to work. I worked as a dishwasher at Denny's until 10:30 at night. I walk home. I get home at 11. I start doing my homework for 7 freaking periods. By 1 in the morning, I was passed out doing my homework. My homework was half-assed done. I would get up at 5:30 in the morning, 4 freaking hours of sleep. Thankfully, I was a very strong, active young man. I would shower, walk to school, 20-minute walk. I would be like right in the lunchroom while I'm eating my free burger because they did give me free food from the state. I had a letter of emancipation. I had nobody. Nobody. I think the way I think because of my experience in life. I'll try not to get emotional, but it does piss me off a bit. Whatever, Christian, I don't need your pity. It's the truth. I will do my homework and then I will go and turn it in. Back then, it used to be 70% was testing ability. And they flipped it to 60% homework and 40% testing. I was a 100% student. My lowest score was 94% on my testing. I graduated high school verily with a 2.5. My highest education on math was trigonometry. Unfortunately, I failed one semester of calculus because my brain puts things backwards. And it's not dyslexia. It is a little bit of dyslexia, but it has to do a lot with my Hispanic formula. And so when I read something with numbers, I put them in different places. But if I have the formula, I'll do the math. I didn't leave home because I was a bad kid. I was physically abused until I couldn't take it anymore. My mother took my brother's side. So I left. But I graduated high school. Many people have their mom and dad. They drove to school. They had money. They had nice clothes. They had food. They had everything. They didn't have to work. Shit. I wish that was my case. I would have stayed an A student, bro. There's a lot of people like me out there. And this is why we think the way we think. See, playing the victim mentality, it doesn't go with me. You play the victim, you're a loser. Sorry. Let me tell you about being a victor. You overcome all the bad things in your life. All these experiences that I tell you, I'm not saying I didn't make mistakes. Obviously, me making a child is my mistake. Me paying child support for 22 and a half years, that's my mistake. The life that I have lived has been my mistake. But my point stands. The government, the system is broken. I couldn't claim taxes because I wouldn't get any money. If it said that I was supposed to get $2,000 in tax return, I didn't get shit. It all went to my baby's mom. In the meantime, she's getting a $200 hairdos. I'm just trying to hold on to mine for dear life. But that's exactly what I'm talking about. I don't play that victimhood. I'm from El Barrio, and if you're Hispanic and you come across this channel, you know what that means. A lot of people in my community became gangbangers, thieves, did other bad stuff. But some of us, we knew better. We listened to our teachers in school. back when we used to have schools, good school systems. It turns out that no matter how much we suffer, no matter how much we got beat up, abused, or whatever, we just got tougher for some reason. We just didn't give up. I mean, I almost did back in 2003 when I got my first divorce. I got divorced once already. And that's not the baby's mama. That was me making another mistake. But I love my children. I love all of them. I don't have a relationship with the older ones except for my firstborn, the one that I clown on and I ask him who daddy is. I love him so much, you know. And I have my two little ones. My two little ones are 15 and 12. But I do the best that I can with them. Again, victimhood, racism, all that bullshit that people want to use to excuse themselves from failures that they themselves have made on their own, like me and my decisions. I'm not telling you all this stuff to say, hey, feel bad for Dennis. I don't need nobody's sympathy or empathy or pity. I work my ass off at work. I'm a very good worker. I love my wife. I love my children. And I love this country. And I love the great people of the United States of America. And even some of you that might come across in here and you're really hateful of this country, whether you are an immigrant, an illegal immigrant, or an American citizen, if you hate this country, shame on you. We're trying to fix it. We're trying to fight for it. Trinity, that has been commenting here, she has fought the government with a lot of people when they try to raise property taxes and by cheating the system and making it look like the appraisal of their properties were a lot higher than they actually were. They put a stop to that. Those are the kind of people that I admire. Not because they don't want to help the country, but because they want to make sure that things are done fairly and that justice is always given to the American people. I told you guys about the government and how they've been lying to you. And it doesn't matter if there's something that I have learned by talking to people, is it doesn't matter how many facts you find or what you tell or what they see, they still want to do what they're being lied about. It's like what the pastor used to say in church, you know, it's like people just like to be tickled in their ears. They don't want to go to church to be told that they're doing something wrong. They just want to be told that their life is prosperous and it doesn't matter what you do in life. You're forgiven and everything is great and beautiful. But they don't want to hear the truth. Let's see what you got there, Christian. Immigrants are criminals on a different level of criminality. Breaking federal law, which is immigration frontera. What's oh my God, I'm thinking too much in Spanish because it's late. Border. Crossing the border illegally is a federal crime. And then on top of that, they have to use fake papers, which is a felony. It is committing fraud is a big felony. And so everybody that comes across the border illegally is a criminal on a certain level. But then there is criminality that goes beyond that, like raping, stealing, murdering, etc. That's a difference. The point that we always make is that we're trying to get rid of all these criminal, illegal immigrants. But of course, anybody that is illegal, whether they are those kind of criminals or just criminals by crossing here illegally, they also will get deported. You were born in a land and you're supposed to give to that land and you're supposed to help that land. But if you decide to abandon the land because you think that the land was bad, and then you come here and say the land here is bad, the problem most likely is you. You're the problem. Maybe you're too lazy. Maybe you don't have the geniality to be able to go and make something for yourself in your country. You like to come and take advantage of the American system, but you don't like to support these laws and regulations. See, there's a lot of things that I disagree with and that I am sympathetical to. I don't like to see people get deported, but if they're here illegally, that's what needs to happen. That's just the thing. Let's see. Leviticus. Let me go find Leviticus 19:33. I love it when people quote the Bible to me. Yeah. You shall not oppress your neighbor or rob him. The wages of a hired worker shall not remain with you all night until the morning. This verse emphasizes the importance of fair treatment and timely payment. Now, while the Bible also says that every laborer is worthy of pay, there is a law that we have here in the United States of America. If you are a tourist and you come on a tourist visa, you are not allowed to work. If you work, you get deported and you are not allowed to come back into the country. If you're an illegal immigrant, cross the border illegally without permission, you get fraud, commit fraud by getting fake documents, hiding your real identity, and you work fraudulently, you're breaking the law. And whether you actually get paid for your labor, it is no longer relevant because you are illegally making that money that does not belong to you. Now, you can think that if you are allowed that money because you work for it, that's great. But that's in your country. While you're in here committing fraud instead of getting paid, and I know you're not going to like this, you should be behind bars for committing fraud. Let's see what else. Let's see. We must obey God rather than man. Acts 5:29. Also, Jesus Christ said, give to Caesar what Caesar's and to God what is God. He also said to obey the law of the land as you obey the commandments of God. Anything else you want to throw at me biblically? By all means, bring it. I will say there was some orders to Joshua and Moses to go into certain towns inhabited by certain individuals, and they were told to kill everything in that town and stay there. And that is history in the Old Testament. But let's not forget where we come from. If you guys listened to my last live, I think Trinity, you were in here for that one. I don't know if you left before I said this, but when Adam and Eve were in the Garden of Eden, they are the first sons of God. Men were created before Adam and Eve. There's a big difference. We believe that the 1/3 of angels that was casted down to earth to be punished became humans. And this is where all the things come from. Cities being built by these witchcraft people and devil worshippers, and this is why people crave blood, human blood, and they killed each other. The Mayans did the same thing. A lot of civilizations that used to practice those type of evil doings have disappeared, and still have some in a different way, but they will also pay with time. Judgment Day is coming. That's a fact. I don't like to preach about that because you know what? I think my job is not to preach about Judgment Day. That's not my calling. But I will mention that if some of you guys try to challenge me biblically, I hope that you have more scriptures to share with me. I think that was really great. Christian is a Mexican. I think you're probably Mexican. I believe that you have learned some of the scriptures from Catholics, maybe evangelicals. But the problem with just learning scriptures is that you don't get educated on the actual scriptures. You have to read the whole Bible yourself, and not one time, over and over and over until you understand what you're reading. Talking about stories about, genocide here and genocide there, you have to understand why that has to happen. With Gaza right now, with Israel. I know people don't like to hear this shit, but Gaza belongs to Israel, and it should be with Israel. And I think the Palestinians will benefit by that because Israel is a welcoming country to Palestinians. There is Palestinians that have become Israelis. And I use that word because Israeli, I was corrected on a couple days ago on my live that is not Israelites. Israelites is what we use in Spanish, but I think that Israelites also goes. But Israelis, let's see. I just read Leviticus. Are you not listening? I just read it. You shall not oppress your neighbor or rob him. I just read that. The wages of a hired worker. So what are you trying to say with that, with Leviticus? Let me see what you think. It's okay, Trinity. People don't have to know that. But I will tell you, the church, they can't handle me because they can also be too judgmental, and I think that that's why we're failing. If you know, a lot of mega churches, the pastors, they're making millions of dollars. I can't do that. How can I make millions of dollars of people's offerings and tithes that belong to God and think that I can live a lavish life while my congregation is poor? That's not what Jesus did. As a matter of fact, Jesus did the opposite. When a foreigner resides among you in your land, oh my God, this guy sounds Muslim now. And we can talk about the Quran because I read the Quran as well. In your land, do not mistreat them. The foreigner residing among you must be treated as your native born. Yeah, God bless you for that. Love them as yourself, for you were foreigners in Egypt. Now, who is he talking to? He's talking to Israel. And they were enslaved by Israel for hundreds of years. I think it was 400, I don't remember. But it was hundreds of years of slavery in Egypt. And yes, Trinity, mega churches are guilty of that. I don't think it's right. But so the difference in here is, Christian, is that we have borders, laws, and regulations. The laws that we have in our country is to protect the American people. You see, if everybody came to this country and assimilated, meaning they respect our law, meaning they respect our belief, as most of us think that this country was built under God, not under Muslims, but it was more Christianity. Some people like to fight that, but there it is. Now, if you are in the land that you're not welcome in, what does the Bible tell you to do? Go ahead. That question's for you, Christian. If the Bible tells you that you are in a land where you're not wanted, what are you supposed to do? Trinity, stop helping. Let him think for himself. You're a pretty smart lady. I appreciate that. Let me just tell you a story. Jesus went to this town, and Jesus went into a town. Obviously, it was the place where he was born and raised, I guess. I think that's how it is. Man, you know what? I haven't touched my Bible for a long time, and I should go back to it. But Jesus went to this town, and he made some miracles. Not many, but he made a few miracles in this town. And the people didn't accept him. So the story says that he turned around. Jesus was sad, and he turned away and left that town. Jesus never teaches you to be in somebody's property illegally. As a matter of fact, before Jesus, even though he was very popular when he came to certain towns, he never just walked into somebody's house. He waited to be invited in, and then he joined. Thus says the Lord of hosts. King James or Reina Valera. Render true judgments. Show kindness and mercies to one another. Correct. Do not oppress the widow, the orphan, the alien, or the poor. And do not devise evil in your hearts against anyone. I agree, 100%. Do you think that those who are visiting should also respect our laws and our way of life? Or do you think that the country that you're trying to invade has no say on that? You see, you're trying to use scriptures to play your narrative on me. I get it. But as I said before, I am the kind of person that likes to look at both sides of the story first before I make my opinion. And you see, in order for those scriptures to be respected and to be followed, The people that you're putting on this victimhood labels also need to respect the law of that land. If they don't, everything you just said is null. In the time of the Romans, who was Caesar? We are not of this earth, my friend. Our kingdom is not on this earth. Of course, he's the Lord of hosts, but we're not of this earth. Yeah, 100%. Did you forget, or have you not read the gospel of Jesus Christ? Since you're quoting Bible to me from the Old Testament, I saw one of them from the New Testament in Acts. But what happened to the disciples? What happened to the disciples of Jesus Christ when they went to a town where they were not welcome? What happened to them? It's a serious question, because I think people like to play scripture games, but I don't play scripture games. What happened to, number one, what happened to Jesus Christ? He went to a town, he went to a country where he was allowed. If he wasn't allowed, he left. And he told the disciples to do the same. If you go into someone's house, and Trinity said it, if you go into someone's house and they invite you in, let the peace of God be with them. And eat and assimilate, I'm going to put that word in there, and fellowship with them. But if they deny you entrance and they reject you, dust your sandals and take your blessing with you and leave nothing in that house. He didn't say force yourself in there and start preaching the word. No, they left. Now what happens? They crucified Jesus Christ. We know the story. What happened to the disciples in the Bible? When Jesus Christ was gone, they kept the fight. They kept preaching the gospel. What happened to those disciples? Many immigrants are Catholic or Christian and follow many laws and pay taxes, and yet they are hypocrites by disobeying the law. You know what one of my most infamous sermons were when I was a pastor? To a full house of Mexicans and some other Hispanics in there. My most infamous sermon. What do you think it was? What do you think was my most infamous message that I delivered to the people? It has to do with illegals, obviously. Anyways, we won't touch that part, but the fact is, I was preaching the truth. Okay? I wouldn't tell you that breaking some laws, it's okay, and not breaking others. Of course, there's a limit, or there's a level of criminality that happens, and there's different levels of punishment. But to be illegal in this country, my friend, in any country, even in Honduras, they'll put your ass in jail, and then they'll deport you. So it's not just the United States of America. And I will say this, if you know people, I wish that I knew now, I knew then what I know today. And I wish that the president then did what the president is doing today. If I would have had Donald Trump and his administration do what they're doing right now, I probably would have lost the whole congregation in the church, but my message would have been different. My message would have had, if you self-deport right now, soon, before you get caught. Save some money, as much as you can. Sell everything you have. Self-deport. You get a plane ticket back to your country. You get $1,000 when you land, and then assimilate back in your country. That gives you the opportunity to come back to this country legally, and therefore you will have your conscience clean. Your soul will be free. If you respect the law, if you respect the people of this great country of the United States of America. The disciples were flogged for their dedication to God or crucified willingly. Yes, and since you mentioned crucified first, I'm going to tell you the Catholic Church was founded by Peter. Peter was the first pope in the Bible of the church, of the Catholics. He did not want to be crucified like Jesus. He wanted to be crucified upside down. What is the symbol in the cross of the Antichrist? And he's given. Yeah. What is the symbol of Antichrist for Catholics? This is so interesting. And Catholics did this. Upside down on the cross. Okay, thank you. Trinity, dang it! Stop answering all the questions. I'm just kidding, sis. I appreciate you. You're so awesome to have right now. I appreciate it. So the symbol for an Antichrist is an upside down cross, which, interestingly enough, the first pope of the Catholic Church, I would just call it the founder of the Catholic Church, was St. Peter. It's interesting that St. Peter didn't teach about building idols for themselves. This is something that after Peter, the next pope that took over, have allowed to have all these idols in place in the Roman Catholic Church. And the book of Revelation says, let me find it. Let me find it here. Let me see if I can. You know what? I love the internet. Hopefully, I can find something here. Let's see if we can get some scriptures here. Let's see. Oh, give me some scriptures. All right, here I'm gonna go ahead and read what they have on online, and man, you're gonna make me read my Bible and learn some scriptures. I don't want to go to this channel and start preaching to everybody. Okay, I know this channel is about politics and religion, and I appreciate the comments and the questions, but bear with me, okay? Let's read something that we find here. In the book of Revelation, the harlot, also known as the great harlot or the Babylon the Great, is a symbolic figure representing a powerful and seductive system that opposes God. She is often depicted as a woman riding a beast with 7 heads and 10 horns, and is associated with the concepts of idolatry, false religion, and worldly power, the Pope. Ultimately, the harlot is judged and destroyed by the beast she initially controls, symbolizing the self-destructive nature of evil. Here's the relationship with the beast. The harlot is depicted as riding the beast, which represents political power and authority. This signifies the close relationship between religious and political systems in opposing God. Let me show you a couple of signs that is opposing God. One is idolatry, having idols in the Catholic Church. The second one, people worship the Pope. And why did God bury Moses himself? Because he didn't want a shrine to be built upon him and people would worship him. See, God doesn't want that. God is a jealous God. And people don't understand that. So Catholics, specifically Roman Catholics, which is where they started, are idolaters. Mi Virgencita, say the Mexicans. My little virgin. My Virgin Guadalupe. My Virgin Mary. My Virgin Magdalena. What the heck? What? Magdalena was not a virgin. They grab all this idolatry as their own religion, and that's against God. Thou shalt not worship false idols. I have disputed nothing but ignorance. Yes, the Catholics changed the Ten Commandments for their idol worshiping benefit. Absolutely. Your opinion doesn't matter because you're the most ill-informed person I've ever seen on here. And you're not supposed to pray to the dead. That's right. Dia de los Muertos. I'm going to go have lunch with my dead mother. Yeah, of course. I believe that. Hey, you know what? You're judging too harsh. I can't even tell who's going to hell. Who knows? Maybe all of us are. But I like to think that, my faith will, in Jesus Christ, will actually save my soul. Our bodies are going to rot in this earth, but our soul will live forever. Well, the first thing that I notice is that when you prove people wrong, they like to insult you and put you down, and that's okay. That is the nature of humans. Uh, but yeah, I would love for somebody else to jump in here and give me a scripture. Give me something that the Bible says destructive or contradicts himself on, and I love to talk about it. Jesus saves the righteous and those who show love. No, that's not true. You don't like that answer? Jesus saves the sinner that repents and believes that he is the Son of God and accepts him as their Lord and Savior. There's a big difference. Now, okay, I'm gonna assume that you're Catholic, and that's why you're a little butthurt about the truth, which is okay. I don't blame you for it, because that's when somebody has been raised in a cult. That's what happens. Now, lucky for me, I guess, and lucky is something that religious people don't like to say, but I just say it because we're so used to it. You're a Christian. Well, God bless you, Christian. Uh, well, you're a Christian, so you're a Christian. Of course, I understand that. But the lucky for me, when I was little, I was raised Baptist and then Catholic and then Evangelical Reform, and then I have been through Pentecostal, Baptist, and Triangular, and all these other Christian denominations, right? But the fact is that you have to study the Bible. You have to learn for yourself. I know preachers when we deliver a message. Uh, I always preach in this manner. If I felt that God gave me a message for the people, the first thing that I would do is I would pray to God that the Holy Spirit will enlighten me, guide me, and give me a message for the people. Not something that I know, not something that I've seen. Give me something that the people need to hear. And often I remember some scriptures, and then I will look them up to make sure that that's what it was. And then I will write on my notes, okay, here's a scripture, kind of like you're doing right now, Christian. It's okay. I'm not clowning on your scriptures. Please, by all means, always use scripture if you have them. I always use stories from the Bible, but I don't have scripture knowledge too much. And so I would write specific scriptures that I would share just to read out that it's in the Bible. Okay, that's all. But my message was always a free flow, so to speak. And I would see things that I would have never known about people. And those people confirmed to me that what I said to them was true. And that's how I knew that was the Holy Spirit. What's really weird is that when you are in this, what would you call it? Trance? I don't know. That's probably not the word. It sounds weird. But when you are in this mode, I would say anointings. That's the word that we use. God uses you. You are a tool that God uses for his purpose. And there was so many people that I have never met before that, I would stand in front of thousands of people and preach, and it's not a big deal. But what I find interesting is that every time that I preached, I was always tempted with women. And that's just the way it is. But I understood that temptation, it's there to be overcome. That doesn't mean that I was failing God, but I tried to overcome that temptation. And it wasn't so much as an, oh my God, I gotta have this woman. I am going crazy. No, no, no. It's the thought of, why is this woman coming on to me? Like, I'm preaching about God. I'm preaching about love and all that stuff, but why? I mean, look at me. I'm not handsome, right? Well, my wife loves me, so she thinks I'm handsome. But my point is, like, the devil always try to put something there to steal our blessings, you know? And so we have to be aware of that. What does Trump have to do with this? We're talking about something way deeper than Trump. 100%. Why do I have to repent? Why do I have to ask for forgiveness if I'm not making mistakes? Uh, Jesus Christ said nobody's perfect on this earth. And he said that while he was here, meaning that even he was not perfect. But we know that he was. The humbleness for him to be able to say that is the most amazing thing to me. Every time I study my Bible and I read the gospel of Jesus Christ, I kid you not, I get emotional. I get emotional and I feel it 100% right through my bones. That's why I like, what it, Bachman, he doesn't preach a message. Yep, 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 I agree. Do not store up for yourself treasures on earth, where moths and vermin destroy, and where thieves break and steal. But store up for yourselves treasures in heaven, where moths and vermin can't do that. I get it, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, that's on him. Yep, that's on him. To each his own. To each his own. Part of the beauty of me is that I am very rich. That could be a thing. If I was rich, would you hate me? If I said that? Trump, when I go to church and when I drink my little, number one, he doesn't drink. He's talking about probably the Catholic cup of wine. And have my little cracker. I guess that is a form of forgiveness. I do that as often as I can because I feel cleansed. Yeah, I mean, that's to partake into, the Holy Supper, as we call it, at least a symbolical way of doing it, right? You get your little glass of wine. It's normally in churches they put grape juice, but you can have wine. Drinking wine is not a sin, by the way. You are allowed. Uh, you are allowed to drink red wine. Just don't get drunk. And if you get drunk, be responsible. I mentioned this on my last live about a woman that asked me to pray for her brother because he drank. He drank beer, and when I confronted her, not confront her, but when I probe her and asking her why yeah, that's right, Trinity. Why she wanted me to pray for her brother, her answers were just crazy. Like, I would say, well, is your husband having a problem with the wife? Is he beating her? And she will tell me, no, Pastor, he's the greatest husband. And it's like, okay, is he bad with the children? Does he abuse them? No, Pastor, he's a great father and the kids are well behaved. And okay, is he doing bad at work? Like, something is breaking this man down because he's drinking beer. And she says, no, he's the employee of the month, Pastor. And I said, why are you asking me to pray for your brother? And she says, because he drinks beer. And I say, sister, your husband's in jail. You can't hold a job. Your children don't respect you. Who should I pray for? She got mad at me, but I still pray for her. She left the church, by the way. I'm a horrible pastor. I'm sorry. I apologize about that. I am not Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ is way too better than me. I am not even close to the dust to the dust in between the nails in his toes when he was walking this earth. Jesus is way. I will never pretend to be even close to 0.0000001% of his love and kindness and knowledge. He is the best, and when we are up there with him, I will worship him the whole time. I will never get tired of worshiping him. And by the way, I don't believe that God is going to want you to go and worship him 24/7. That's boring. I think God is going to have more delight on seeing that you are happy, that you have no pain, that you have passed the test in this life. Because while we are on this earth, on this skin, we are being tested in our faith. Where does your heart lie? Do you lie with the good or do you lie with the bad? And that's what you have to think about. You know, it's funny that when I was talking about the politic issues and the tariffs, well, a lot of people were getting online, but then the moment that we switched to to religion, we start losing people. I know it's late. Uh, this is probably the late. No, the latest has been 1 a.m. here, Washington State time. Uh, but I think maybe I can do a live a lot earlier because when I do my lives, if you guys are interacting with me, I keep going, man. This is just my nature. I love it. Uh, you know, we jumped to the Catholic Church because Christian joined in here, and some other people talking about Trump. But as you guys are all my witness, we try to bring some light, and we'll probably talk about these topics again, maybe tomorrow or something. Oh my gosh, Trinity! Wow, you are just an awesome, amazing person for staying up late with me. God bless you over there in Tennessee. Um, but we really need to. I need to find a way to make these points more clear, because as much as I want to interact with everybody, unfortunately there is a lot of trolls out there, and I like to answer everything because I don't want anybody to just not know the truth, right? But I'm always encouraging you guys to do your research. Even if I'm reading here, don't take my word. Go look for stuff yourself. I find that there is a lot of loyalists that they just have earned and learned this hate for Donald Trump, that they cannot think of anything else but to hate this guy. And so everything he says is wrong. We Chuck Schumer is a Jew. We have the tragedy that happened in New York with the Jews. He said nothing. He was complacent. October 7th, he still says nothing. He allows violence against his own people. Imagine that. So how much violence do you think he's going to accept for us that are not Jew? He doesn't even like his own people. He's not going to like us. And yet he's a Democrat in office. Nancy Pelosi makes hundreds of millions of dollars as a servant to us. And the only excuse that she has is, oh, that's my husband. And who has the inside information? Yeah, don't answer that. They hate him so much, they don't even know why. That's 100% true. But how many people did you see in here, Trinity, that came and say, oh, well, this lying about this. And then the moment that we tell them the truth, they start insulting us. The moment that I say respect the law and illegal immigrants have to be deported, I get called all these names in the book. Right? That's just how people are. It is what it is. Wow. I appreciate you staying with me this late. I really do. Let's see here. Man, these people make me laugh sometimes. I got 35 likes on this video. I did not do that good today. I was hoping to get to 500 subscribers tonight. We'll probably hit that sometime next week, maybe, or next month. Whenever it happens, I appreciate all 10 of you watching at this time. I know it's very late. I will try to do a live a bit earlier. I have tried to do this around noon. Tomorrow, I'm going to be, after the gym, I'm probably going to do some overtime. And then maybe if I get a chance to go out to the park, I'll probably do another live outside and see if we can get any more people involved here. Not for you, Trinity. It's already 2:40 over there. You need to get some rest, get some sleep. But I do appreciate your support and everybody else that has come here to drop a like or, just to say hello. Uh, I shouldn't be the only guy talking out there. There's a lot of guys. Thank you. There's a lot of guys that they preset their videos, and they do a lot of editing, and then they publish it live. but you will notice that they don't interact the way that I interact with you guys. And so, people get in here. I can make videos and then just throw them out there and let people just watch them. But I think it's more exciting to actually talk live with other people. So that's why I do this. And if the platform grows, I would like to do it more often. I think that there is you see, it's really hard for me to use my computer to do lives and show you guys videos live because it's just me, right? Most people, they have money, they got somebody else helping, or they preset it. You know that I'm live because I'm talking back to you and reading the comments right away. But I'm not very good with it. I will try it, I guess, again, but I never get success with it. Like, at least I get a couple hundred views. When I've done it for my computer with the software and stuff, I get like 7 views, 20 views. And so I don't find it successful, so I don't use it as much. Um yeah, I 100% Trinity, and thank you for your support. I really mean it. I thank you for that. By the way, you are very knowledgeable. I like that. I think that there is a lot of people in the United States like you that use common sense. And you know what? They're always going to judge us because, right? MAGA. They're going to call us all kinds of names. But the bottom line is that I believe that you and I uh, don't think about the party, even though we're supporting Republicans right now. And who knows? Maybe you are a loyalist, but uh, right now our patriotic persons seem to align, and so we're going to speak the truth as we see it. And you know what? If Republicans step out of line, then we're gonna call it as it is. They need to be held accountable, regardless of what party. And I think that's what's important. A lot of people cannot let go of of being loyalists to a party. Let's not forget that Donald Trump was a Democrat before, and he ran for a Republican. Tulsi Gabbard, which I think will be the first female president, if there ever will be a female president in this country, it will be Tulsi Gabbard. But right now, I think that we have J.D. Vance and Marco Rubio. Um, I have a lot of faith in God that J.D. Vance is faithful as he's been to the President Donald Trump, that he will also be as patriotic as him. I believe that he is, um, and that he will do a great job. And I just think that we can run him for 2 terms. And if everything keeps going the way that we've seen it right now, and we don't know when Jesus is coming, right? We don't know if war is going to break out at any time. We can only control so much, and if we think that we're God and we can stop death, excuse me, we are idiots, because we're not God. We can never stop that. So whatever happens, I wish the best for our country, the best for our people. And with that being said, I want to specifically thank you, Trinity, for your support here and the help. Omar, thank you so much for stopping by. A couple of you guys, thank you so much for those who subscribe. I think I had 420 something subscribers, and let me check the list here if we got any changes. Uh, oh wow! So we went from 420 something to 464. We didn't get to the 500 yet, but I just hope that I get more patriots to join our channel, so that we can talk more about things that matter. Um, I would just like to say thank you so much for your support. If you stop by to say hello, thank you for that. If you give the video a like, I appreciate that. I know the algorithm works that way, and that's probably why I don't get that many views when I do it from my computer, because of the interaction, I think. But I like to do the live better. The streaming to me is a lot better. Uh, there's nothing like having. See, it's so much easier for me to have. Yeah, thank you so much. It's pretty cool, right? I didn't think I was going to go past 50, to be honest. But I think it's pretty cool to have this. You're in Tennessee, and you're talking to some guy from Washington State. And the coolest thing is that we have a lot of things that match. When it comes to some parts of religion, sometimes of politics. But the most important thing that we connect with is our patriotic person, our patriotism, and the love for this country is really what matters. People like Christian, he's a Christian. Uh, I like those people to come on my channel, and I don't know if I should announce just a religious night to do live streaming, or if I should just continue to keep it a surprise so that people join. But uh, I like those people to contradict me for two things. One of them, if I am ever wrong on something, I need to make sure that I correct that. But if I am right on something, I hope that they correct that themselves. When you throw in scripture, when the people throw scriptures at me, we can all read scriptures, and the understanding of those scriptures only come out if you know the rest of the story for that scripture. And so they beat me when it comes to scriptures, but not when it comes to knowledge in the Bible. The stories that I have learned in there and what I have gathered from experience makes total sense. Like the whole thing about the victimhood, right? The whole thing about illegal immigrants over here and being welcome and all that stuff. A foreigner, the Bible doesn't say an illegal person coming into your domain. It says a foreigner. And we love migrants in this country. And we want everybody to be successful and prosperous and everything. But in order for that to happen, people need to assimilate, and they need to respect the laws and boundaries that we have set forth in our country. I became an American citizen after being a resident green card holder for over 2 decades. Why did I wait for that? Because I want to make sure that my loyalty, my patriotism is put in the right place. And the United States is the right place. And therefore, I applied, I was accepted, I was honored, and I am still honored to be part of the United States of America. As an American citizen, it brings great pride to me. Whenever I see the American flag, it's the most beautiful thing I can see on this earth. It brings me peace. It calms me. It makes me feel that there is hope. And when I see American, I don't see white people. I see Americans. And to me, that's the most important thing that I value in this life. I love my children. They are my treasure. Love my wife. She's my treasure. I love God above everything. But being part of this country is just the most amazing thing that I have ever experienced in my life. And I think that a lot of people that don't come here and feel the same way, they just never will. They will never respect it, and they will never be true. What's the word in English? They will never be true supporters to our cause per se. The United States of America helps so many countries. We have made so many enemies, because of helping the one good side of those countries. You know, uh, yeah, I don't believe in the victimhood mentality. Yeah, bull crap. Yep. Look yeah, beautiful, beautiful. We have an American flag hanging from the front of the house as well, and it's funny because in our household here, uh, it's mostly with my wife's family. They're Samoan, and not everybody wants Trump. Some are don't like him, some like him. You know, and the reason for that is because the same reason that you and I share with these people on here is that of course we love migrants. Of course we don't want to see people get deported, but if they're illegal, they gotta go. I mean, there's nothing we can do about it. It's not a Donald Trump thing. It's a law, and it's been in law, and unfortunately has been neglected by the previous governments that we've had in office. And so it makes it look like Orange Man bad is just hating everybody, but he's not hating everybody. He's telling people, self-deport, I'll give you some money and come back the right way. I mean, no president has ever done that. Congress are the ones in charge of voting for laws to change. President Donald Trump wants to do immigration reform. He's talking already about having people come to this country legally. I wouldn't talk about it yet because we need to get rid of every illegal immigrant in this country. But they're talking about there is some illegal immigrants that maybe work in farms, for example. We don't want them to be here because we want to pay them nothing and we want to just use them for farming or to clean toilets, which you already know that I used to do as a pastor. That's fine. But they're not here just for minuscule jobs. They are here because we care that they're good people and that they could be good material to become American patriots. The problem is that they're so patriotic to the land that they come from that it's so hard to vouch for them and to want them to be part of the American system. I think that is the difference. And, you know, the moment that I talk about, migrating legally into this country, you may have heard this from my last live. I used to be a leasing agent for 5 years here in Washington, and I talked to a lot of Hispanics. Many were afraid of giving me their IDs because they were illegal, and we will tell them, listen, we don't care if you're legal or illegal. We're gonna get you a place to live, and that's all that matters, right? And I will talk with a lot of the Hispanic community that will come in and try to rent from us. Now, what's very interesting is that somebody always talked about immigration, and so when I talk to the person that was illegal, they will tell me that I'm a racist, and I was like, wait, what? Wait, what? I said, you're my people. How am I going to be racist towards you? I said, we're the same. I'm just telling you that illegal immigration is illegal. It's wrong, and they will call me racist. But then when I talk with other people, now mind you, they always ask me. They bring up the issue, all right? Otherwise, I wouldn't talk about it. And then when I will talk to somebody that was here legally, they will tell me, you're a great preacher to this country. They're lucky to have you. Isn't that interesting? That when people are illegal, they hate you telling them the truth about their bad behavior. And let's be honest, just like the black communities have their ghetto areas, you see in California, have you seen the areas where there's a lot of freaking illegal immigrants? Keyword, illegal immigrants. Most of the legal immigrants that come to this country, and it's that I don't do studies on this, I just seen what I've seen. The places where Hispanics are legal and live here, let me make an exception. The truth hurts very much. Let me make an exception. There is some illegals. I get it. There's some illegals that want to have their own business. Okay? They have a nice house. They keep it clean. They make a nice yard. They're beautiful people. Of course, if they ever get found out, they're illegal, they get deported, they gotta go. That's no question. But that there is people that could be good to have in this country, 100%, absolutely. And I hope that Donald Trump and the administration find some way to keep doing better and better. Not just to give the opportunity for those migrants that self-deport to come back to this country, but for those that are here and have proven to be good citizen material, the ones that actually assimilated and have supported the American people and the prosperity of the United States of America, I hope that they find a way to somehow give them papers. Now, the president cannot do that. Congress has to do that. And for that, they have to change the law. We talk about birthright citizenship. I'm against it. If the people are illegal, then they're not supposed to be citizens here. There's this similar rule with diplomats. If you come into this country, just because that baby was born here, it doesn't mean that it becomes an American citizen. That baby is still a citizen of the country of the diplomat, of the parents. And I think that should be the same rule for any illegal immigrant, for any tourist, any person that is not here legally should not get the right to have their kids to be citizens of this country. That's just what I feel. That's just how I think. That's what I have interpreted about the Constitution. The Constitution is about we the people, and we the people are only mentioned for those who can vote and make a difference on this country. Those who cannot vote, you are not the people. We include you as future we the people. But at the end of the day, only American citizens make decisions on what happens in this country. Now, I get it. A lot of Democrats want to have a lot of illegal immigrants in their state because they get more money. And what happens? California has, they send more money, I think it's like 83 or 80 something billion dollars back to the federal government as their share of what they have made in the year. And how do they get more money? Number one, they have Hollywood. I get it. They're going to make billions of dollars on that, movies, etc. Lots of taxes. But how do they get that? They get they got millions of illegal immigrants in California alone. And they are taking advantage of these people's money. They tax them and they give them cheap labor and they make a lot of money on illegal immigrants. And of course, by the census, taking illegal immigrants into account, they're just counting heads per se. They count heads for the state. They get more of a budget to be able to use. And people don't realize this because they don't look for the information. But if they look for the information, they will find it and they will understand what the hell we're all about. And so when California says that they pay more money than any other state in the country, they think that we owe them a favor. They think that the government, the federal government, has to give them more money and they should bend the knee and say, thank you so much, California, kissing some butt to Newsom. That's not how it works. You are abusing the illegal people. You are breaking the law by not respecting your law in the city and the state. You allow for the border to be used to what's the word? To traffic, human traffic, to let drugs come through the border. This is what they're doing in California. You have a lot of illegal immigrants that get a house and they just bunch up in there. Yeah, they pay a lot of taxes. They pay federal and city tax. They also use their money to pay for gas. And what happens with gas? The government gets a lot of freaking money just from gasoline. I think California went up to almost $8, if not more, a gallon. That is ridiculous. Who gets that money? Not the people. The people just pay the tax. And unfortunately, by having all these illegal immigrants in there, we have billions of dollars that go into a bank of benefits for illegal immigrants. This money comes from higher tax-paying Americans, and people don't realize that. Now, I'm trying to go a little bit too much on the side of that because that's not my state, but it happens throughout the whole United States, and we should all be paying attention to what happens around us. I was not gonna start touching that again because I'm actually trying to close the night. I think we did a lot of work today, Trinity, and I say we because as a patriot, you're also being part of us trying to reach out other people to teach them the truth, and that to me that's awesome. Yeah, let's see. Yeah, of course, it's Trump's fault. You know what? As a matter of fact, before we close this here, why don't we go find out? Instead of talking out of my ass, let me see gas prices in California. Right now it says that gas prices in California average $4.49, which is about the same, I think, as what we have here in Washington State. Let's see. How about prices in Los Angeles? Angelinos. It says that the gas in California right now in Los Angeles is $4.18. Is that true? I will have to say that it's true, but I saw a price in the gas about $8 some change. I will say this, okay, before I close. When I lived in California, I was paying $5, almost $6 a gallon when I lived in Fullerton, California, which is just south of Los Angeles, and I think it's southeast of Long Beach. But I used to pay almost $6 a gallon, and I couldn't afford it, so I had to move back to Washington. But I remember that I paid almost $6 per gallon, and when I research now, when I try to search and see what the pricing is, has been the highest in California in the time that I was there, it's not even close. So I don't know if I believe the stats on that. And so anyway, so what I say is, do your research, Trinity, thank you so much for your support, for your interactions, and hopefully, I'll see. Maybe I'll do a live tomorrow, sometime in the early afternoon, probably mid to late afternoon for you. But I'll see if I can do another live because I think that we didn't touch the topics. Some people that interacted here kind of changed that. Who knows? Maybe that was the purpose for them. But yeah, yeah, it's still pretty high. But I mean, if it says $4 and some change, yeah, that's the average. But the bottom line is for us here in Washington, it is about $1.20 higher than what it should be. So in California, probably the same thing, right? That dollar per gallon is a big difference, especially on cities where you have to be in traffic for a long time. A lot of wasted fuel. Guys, till next time, God bless you, especially you, Trinity, for staying with me for so long. You're awesome. It's amazing. And for all those that subscribe and put a little thumbs up on the like, I appreciate you. Let's go ahead and get together again sometime soon. I'll try different times of day, especially the weekends. I can probably change a little bit, but during the week, I got to work all day, so it's hard for me to do it. And sometimes I come home and I got to crash. I'm just beat. I'm dead by the time I come home. So, but hopefully we get more interaction from you guys so that we can share the knowledge that we acquire little by little. There is a lot of channels with millions of subscribers, which is a great thing. But live shows like this, where you interact with people, I don't think I've seen one. And there is some that do try it, but I've noticed that some of the comments, they are not actually live. So I don't know if I have just missed those live shows or what. But yeah, we have a lot of talk to talk about. Till next time, guys. God bless you and have a good night. And you'll be safe.